offerings, but restaurant offerings as well. And now that we have it here, we're really shining.
Perez says their Chili's had the company's busiest opening in the nation, and the Ross had the fifth busiest opening. The next month, the city will welcome a Smith's Marketplace and several other eateries. He thinks these successes are going to continue to attract more jobs and more of people's most desired brands to the city. Reporting live, Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
Black Friday is changing with the constantly evolving ways that we shop, but many shoppers are still planning to hit the department stores and wait in line for the big deals. Wallet Hub analyst Chip Lupo tells Inside Sources there are some things we likely won't see this year.
But one thing I think you will notice is that over the years, you don't see as many incidents where people are getting pepper sprayed or getting trampled, or you're seeing fist fights as people are breaking down the doors to get into these places.
Lupo says big box department stores are trying to bring customers inside to potentially see other products and buy more. About a third of Americans have been the victim of an online shopping scam, and it becomes more common during the holidays. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez has more.
A recent report from the Pew Research Center looked into how many Americans are affected by online shopping scams every year. Around 85% of adults say they believe online scams and attacks to be a prevalent problem with shopping sites. Melanie Fox with the Better Business Bureau says one of the biggest offenders of online scams are social media ads that pose as a big brand, but really they use fake websites and links.
With the use of AI, a lot of times it becomes it makes it harder to see if it is a scam or if it's, a true website. And so we just tell people just be so vigilant.
Fox recommends typing in website links yourself on a trusted browser and using credit cards because it is much easier to refute a charge if you are scammed. McKenna Rodriguez, KSL News Radio.
Salt Lake County is making sure seniors aren't forgotten this holiday season, and it starts with a single tag on a tree. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera explains.
When you walk into the Salt Lake County Government Center, you'll see a Christmas tree covered in tags, each one a wish from an older adult in our community. Afton January with Salt Lake County Aging and Adult Services says many of the people they serve are alone and can't even leave their home, which is why this effort matters so much to her.
Our clients are older adults who most often don't have any family who live close by, who are isolated and often are homebound and can't get out of the house.
Each tag lists a simple request like toiletries, warm clothes, or a grocery gift card. You can get involved and take a tag at 21st South and State. Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories. A federal judge has thrown out the criminal cases against New York Attorney General Letitia James and former FBI Director James Comey. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
The decisions come from a South Carolina-based federal judge who was asked by two colleagues in Virginia to weigh Lindsay Halligan's appointment. The former White House aide was tapped in September to replace an ousted Trump nominee who reportedly declined to charge James Comey with lying to Congress. Halligan not only brought that case, she also sought an indictment against Letitia James for alleged mortgage fraud. South Carolina-based Judge Cameron Curry points to the law, which says when a top federal prosecutor's post is vacant for 120 days, the district court names the replacement.
Letitia James released a statement following the judge's decision. ABC News chief investigative correspondent has more.
She is heartened by what she calls today's victory and grateful for the prayers and support I have received from around the country. The Attorney General here in New York goes on to say, I remain fearless in the face of these baseless charges as I continue fighting for New Yorkers every single day.
Comey has not released a statement at this point. The judge dismissed the cases without prejudice, meaning that the DOJ can't try and indict again. Other national stories KSL is following this hour. A delegation from the U.S. and Ukraine are proposing a new peace plan between the country and Russia. The plan removes some controversial points like the stipulation that Ukraine would have to cap the size of its military. More from ABC's Louis Martinez.
The Army Secretary, that is the Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, was actually involved in this whole process. Now, we know that he was planning at some point to visit Ukraine, but last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a discussion between President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, who is a college friend of his, a law school friend of Dan Driscoll, and apparently the Secretary of the Army was placed into kind of a role that is really atypical for someone of his stature.
Plan now includes 19 points instead of 28. First look traffic. Good afternoon, Ricky.
Good afternoon, Maria. We do have a situation blocking traffic, a hazmat spill, northbound Legacy Parkway at I-215's West Belt at the merge. Right now, we do have a left lane and shoulder blocked to traffic. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:06.
My friend Joey loves to use old familiar sayings.
You know what they say?
The problem is,
don't look at a gift horse, cause you can't make them drink.
He gets a lot of them mixed up.
People who live in glass houses,
here it comes,
shouldn't cry over spilt milk.
There are also a lot of sayings in the financial world, like, you'll pay lower taxes in retirement. But for many people, it's just not true. You may have done a great job saving in that 401k or IRA, but Uncle Sam is ready to grab a big portion of that money. The team at Galileo Wealth Management can help with strategies that you can start now to lower your tax bill in the future. More for you and less for Uncle Sam.
Or as they say, an apple a day is worth two in the bush.
Get the facts on your tax bill in retirement. Call Galileo Wealth today at 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online at GalileoWealth.com.
And remember, a stitch in time keeps the doctor away. Does, you know.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Thank you for joining us for Midday, recapping our top local story. Tooele is rapidly growing with more businesses heading to the region. KSL News Time, 12:08. Holiday travel season is here, and ABC's Gio Benitez is at Newark International with the latest.
Record-breaking Thanksgiving travel rush well underway. Nearly 82 million people expected to hit the roads and skies. Airports from coast to coast already packed, set to only get busier this week. The skies will be so busy that the FAA is already preparing to use limited military airspace if needed to support the most efficient flow of traffic across the East Coast and the Gulf.
Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says prices are holding steady in much of the country, and they're also expected to drop over the next few weeks.
2/3 of Americans said that they're going to be crossing a state line for their Thanksgiving travel. Keep in mind, crossing those state lines, that's a danger zone for gas prices. Gas prices vary significantly, in some cases up to $1 a gallon, by crossing into a new state.
Gas prices are slightly up this afternoon. We'll continue to monitor them for any crazy drops or increases. UDOT says you can expect to start seeing delays tomorrow. Drivers on southbound I-15 can expect an additional 20 minutes added onto their commute from 3 to 8 p.m. The freeway will be most affected during 4 and 6 p.m. Getting out of town for the Thanksgiving holiday looks great weather-wise, but that return trip home could have some issues. KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson has more.
There's a high-pressure system that's keeping storms away, but it's going to move later this week, giving storms the ability to push in starting on Friday.
Along the Wasatch Front, I've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday under a 30 to 40% chance for some kind of precipitation in the form of rain or maybe even some snow showers.
KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says the problem right now is the weather models. They don't agree, so it's hard to say just how big or small these storms might be. But he says be prepared for possible travel problems in the mountains. And if you're attending a football game in Provo Saturday morning, there could be rain or snow.
Still not a lot of confidence on what's actually going to happen.
He says the weather model should start to align and become more clear in a couple of days. Randall Jepson, KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a hazmat situation and a lot of vehicles here at the scene. This is in Salt Lake at the I-215's West Belt to go northbound at Legacy. You'll see a left lane and shoulder blocked off. However, it's not causing any delay, just a lot of vehicles and crews at the scene there. You've got plenty of room to get around it. Right now, we have crews wrapping up a small accident. They're getting it moved off the roadway. It occurred on the exit ramp from eastbound I-80 at 1300 East. It was over to the left lane, but again, they're moving as we speak to get it off the roadway. From system install to fast fixes to delivering award-winning heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical, call Whipple Service Champions for the win today. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's possible to see a couple of areas of patchy fog around the Great Salt Lake. Temperatures by this afternoon around 49. Peaks of sunshine, but also lots of clouds. 32 overnight, partly to mostly cloudy. We'll go partly cloudy tomorrow, 46. Mixture of sunshine and clouds Wednesday, 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And a few fluffy clouds, 46 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. Coming up on Midday with Maria Shilaos. We'll hear from the Associate Professor of Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences at Utah State University. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
She was the most luxurious ship of her time, a grand symbol of hope and elegance. No other story has captured our hearts quite like hers. Book your passage now for Titanic the Exhibition at the Shops at Southtown in Sandy. Walk through stunning recreations of Titanic staterooms, stand at the steps of the iconic Grand Staircase, and connect with unforgettable stories of passengers and crew. For a limited time in Sandy, secure passage at titanicexhibition.com. The Titanic Exhibition.com.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Blake Moore is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. Call Congressman Blake Moore at 202-225-0453 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Most folks wait till January to say, I should probably fix this or do something about how you feel. But you know what? You're going to go into 2026 with the resolution already done, because soda helps you lose the weight now, so your New Year's all celebration.
You and I both started our soda weight loss journey in October and November, right? And I loved going into holiday parties knowing I had a plan. It wasn't just, I'm going to try not to. It was, this is my plan, because I've spoken with a nutritionist and I get a jump start on that, first of the year goal by beginning soda weight loss right now.
Yeah, there's no guesswork. You're supported every step of the way, and you need that. And right now, there's an amazing offer from Soda for you and your partner. You join, and your partner joins for free.
So why gain 20 pounds just to lose it in the new year? Go to Soda Weight Loss today and begin today.
That's sodaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com, because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
KSL News Time, 12:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
people in Tooele are finally getting more of the retail and dining brands they love close to home. The city says the successful openings for several new stores and restaurants are attracting more coveted businesses to their area. I'm KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson.
Second, the weather patterns will be changing later this week, meaning traveling home after Thanksgiving could be interesting depending on how many storms move in. 3rd. Traffic and weather together, Ricky.
A left lane and shoulder blocked due to a hazmat situation. This is at Legacy Parkway going northbound at the I-215 junction, the West Belt. You will see that with that lane blocked, you're still not going to see any delay. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mostly cloudy today with a high of 49. I'm Matt Johnson.
Partly cloudy, 46 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge dismissed the criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey, who was facing counts of lying to Congress in testimony along with obstruction, and the indictment against New York Attorney General Letitia James, who was accused of bank fraud. The judge found the installment of acting attorney Lindsay Halligan, who sought the indictments, was invalid.
Now the indictments against both of President Trump's political enemies have been dismissed, although the judge dismissed them without prejudice, and that means that federal prosecutors can, if they so choose, try again to secure the indictments, perhaps once a permanent U.S. attorney is picked for the Eastern District of Virginia.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. The Pentagon conducted an investigation of Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona for his appearance in a video with fellow veterans.
The Arizona Democrat was one of 6 veterans of the military and intelligence community who in a video urged service members to ignore illegal orders. Former astronaut Mark Kelly served as a Navy captain until his 2011 retirement. A Pentagon statement now says the sitting senator may be recalled to active duty for a court-martial or for administrative measures, which could include a reduction in rank or his retirement pay. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the others in the video are not in retired status, so they're no longer subject to military law.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. The holiday travel season is here with airlines and air traffic control ramping up for one of the busiest times of the year, Thanksgiving. ABC's Gio Benitez is at Newark Liberty International.
The skies will be so busy that the FAA is already preparing to use limited military airspace if needed to support the most efficient flow of traffic across the East Coast and the Gulf. The TSA expects to screen more than 17.8 million people starting tomorrow. They say this coming Sunday will be one of the busiest days in history, possibly screening more than 3 million people that day alone.
You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. Food allergies can make holiday dinners complicated, and it's important to know how to keep all your family members safe. Dr. Carrie Durward, Associate Professor of Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences at Utah State University, says the best thing to do is talk to everyone ahead of time.
It's good to know what you're dealing with before you get started. Good practice is always to wash and disinfect dishes between 2 different types. So, for example, if I'm trying to make 2 different dishes, one for the people who want gluten and one for the people who don't, if a tiny amount of gluten is not going to set them off, then I will just make sure that I clean my mixing bowl and other equipment really carefully before I cook the gluten-free one. Now, there are people out there where everything that we could do at home to clean out our mixing bowl is not going to remove all of the gluten that might make them sick. Some people, when they get diagnosed with these things, they have to buy all new pots and pans. And so with that severe of a disease or a sensitivity, really the important thing to do is to be open to those types of individuals bringing their own food or choosing not to eat some of the dishes at your house and making it clear to them that you're not going to be offended and that you're just glad to have them there.
Dr. Carrie Durward is Associate Professor of Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences at Utah State University. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Let's check in with Ricky Meese.
Left lane blocked with a hazmat situation. This is going from northbound I-215's West Belt to northbound on Legacy. You will see that even with that left lane blocked and a lot of vehicles at the scene, traffic's light and moving along just fine. You're going to be able to get around it without any kind of problem. In fact, that's what we're seeing on all the Valley freeways right now. A delay-free drive and no other problems to report. UTA is road therapy. Give your car a break and get more U-time. Plan your trip at rideuta.com or on the Transit app. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. I got mostly cloudy skies down for today. Temperatures in the upper 40s. 46 tomorrow, partly cloudy. Keeping it partly cloudy on your Wednesday, 51. 55, mixture of sunshine and clouds on Thanksgiving Day. We've got a 51, mostly cloudy, 30% chance for showers on Friday. Saturday, rain, snow showers possible, 42. We slide to 39 on Sunday. Scattered snow showers possible. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Partly cloudy right now in downtown Salt Lake City and 46 degrees. And the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets at this hour. I'm seeing positive numbers. Great way to start the week. A complete update of your money news is coming up next.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Hi, this is Doug Ryden. For years, I've been telling you about products I truly believe in and that we use in our home. And one is Kinetico. We all know the downsides of hard water, tough on home appliances, frustrating spots on shower doors, but it also affects your personality. When you shower, does the water feel invigorating? Hard water can leave your skin feeling sticky and itchy. A Kinetico soft water system changes everything. It's like having a luxurious spa experience when you shower, making your daily routine something you look forward to. Kinetico, it's a difference you can feel. Their patented system uses far less salt than competitors, and they're exclusively focused on water softeners. They're the experts in their field, and they'll show you the difference for free with no obligation to buy. Call Kinetico Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized independent dealer, at 801-576-8600, or check them out online at softwaterutah.com. Start enjoying your water. Spoil yourself every day.
Jordan Camper at 7000 South State, located right in the middle of Salt Lake Valley in Midvale. Family owned for generations, Utah's longest truck top and truck accessory shop. Let's talk about tonneau covers. You love your truck and want your truck bed to be protected and covered and look nice, while still being able to use your truck bed area for your work needs, recreation, and hauling. Jordan Camper has a full range of tonneau covers, all the major brands with full warranties. From stylish one-piece models, soft and firm folding covers, to roll-up and snap options. We've got you covered. Tonneau covered, that is, at Jordan Camper, 7000 South State in Midvale. Come on in or give us a call, 801-255-1512. Our experienced staff can answer your questions and install it for you. Information at jordancamper.com.
Save $2,500 on a new furnace and air conditioner from Any Hour Services. For more information, call Any Hour Services or schedule a free estimate online at anyhourservices.com.
KSL News Time 1224. Colombia is recovering 300-year-old treasures from an old shipwreck. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla has more.
The ship was named the San Jose and is believed to have sunk in the Caribbean during the War of the Spanish Succession at the hands of the British Royal Navy. The Colombian government is now recovering treasures believed to be worth billions of dollars in today's money. That includes gold, silver, emeralds, and even some not-so-glamorous items like a cannon and a porcelain cup, causing a heated dispute between the Colombian government and a U.S.-based marine salvaging company. They're fighting over who really has the right to the items. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's money, Ohio lawmakers are trying to pass a bill that would force businesses to take money the old-fashioned way. It would require them to accept cash payments up to $500 and ban them from charging an additional fee for using cash over other payment methods. The market for drones is really taking off. Fox Business reports the industry is expected to grow about 8 to 10% each year, hitting a valuation of $60 billion by 2030. Spotify just made it easier to transfer your playlist from platform to platform by integrating with the web service Tune My Music. Tune My Music makes it easier for people to move playlists from their music library to most major music platforms. Spotify is hoping this integration will draw in listeners and push them away from other popular music streaming apps such as YouTube Music. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by 246 points. That's more than 0.5%, sitting at 46,491. S&P up by 102 points. That's 1.5%. And the Nasdaq, it's up 587 points. That's 2.5%. First Lady Melania Trump received this year's White House Christmas tree today. The tree is a 25-foot conifer concolor fir from Corson's Tree Farms in Michigan.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
Higher taxes, soaring inflation, record low interest rates, and the skyrocketing cost of healthcare. The list goes on. Retiring successfully today is a lot more complicated than ever before. Learn how you can tackle the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement today. Don't miss a special edition of Retirement Solutions Radio. It's this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL, News Radio 1027.
Join the movie show special pre-holiday broadcast at Fat Cats in Saratoga Springs, 212 Pioneer Crossing, and find out about all the fun holiday movies.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
A delay-free drive on all of your Valley freeways, but we do have a left lane blocked as you go from northbound I-215's West Belt to connect to northbound on Legacy Parkway. With that left lane blocked, it's due to a hazmat spill. You still have plenty of room to get around it, and no other problems reported on the Valley freeways or our main secondaries at this time. Live at the Eccles presents A Gentry Christmas. 4 shows Friday and Saturday, November 28th and 29th at the Eccles Theater. Tickets on sale now at liveeccles.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Pockets of patchy fog this morning, high of 49 by afternoon, mostly cloudy skies. 32 overnight, we'll go to 46 tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy conditions. 51 on Wednesday, but still quiet and partly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And a bit of sunshine, 48 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City.
You're listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos
on KSL News Radio 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon, KSL News Time 1230. KSL's top story this half hour. More than 100 people have gathered at Salt Lake City International Airport today for a big Olympic milestone. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is in the middle of it all. And Eric, what's happening behind you there?
Maria, picture the busiest part of the airport, right between baggage claim and the greeting area, completely packed. And that's where this celebration is happening right now. Governor Spencer Cox just said 2034 will be here before we know it. And to mark the milestone, leaders are dedicating a brand new piece of artwork here at the airport. It's designed to stay on display for the next 3,000 days and beyond, because we are 3,000 days from the Olympics today. Organizers also introduced the official name of the games, Utah 2034, and unveiled this new monument-style piece that represents Utah's role on the world stage once again. The airport is the gateway for the world, and in 2034, this is exactly where millions of visitors will arrive. Reporting live at Salt Lake City International Airport, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
A new report is highlighting the impact that college sports at Utah's public utilities have. One major finding is our college sports are contributing as many jobs as some of Utah's biggest companies. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
A new report from the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute found sports at the University of Utah, Utah State, Weber State, Utah Valley, Southern Utah, and Utah Tech universities contribute more than $400 million a year to the state economy and account for more than 3,000 jobs.
Which is slightly less than the direct employment of a company like Zions Bank, or equivalent to some of our big employers like SkyWest, Vivint, or Autoleave. So that's the kind of economic punch we're talking about.
Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute Director Natalie Gochner tells me they also found when the sports teams do well, so do the universities themselves.
When your sports programs do well, you have more people in applying to enroll at your school.
And Gochner says if they included BYU in their report, the numbers would be way bigger. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah has some diehard outdoors enthusiasts, which means people will be heading out on the water for the holiday despite the dangers. KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson has more.
Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation Boating Program Manager Ty Hunter knows people will be recreating on our lakes and reservoirs this week, even as temperatures drop. And that can be dangerous if you wind up in the water and experience cold water shock.
You have that gasp that you breathe in, then you're trying to tread water, and you have this hyperventilation that comes. Your body's not functioning correctly at that point in time. Your breathing's out of whack.
Hunter's number one advice, wear a life jacket. And as tempting as some solitude is following a hectic holiday, always use the buddy system. You can also buy a float coat that acts both as a winter parka and life jacket, or a floating ice suit once ice fishing season starts. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
A Utah woman who vanished from a California beach 3 weeks ago has been found safe. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez reports.
Danielle Staley of Holiday was first reported missing on November 6 after disappearing from a bonfire at Rio Del Mar State Beach in Santa Cruz. The Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office says they initially thought Staley was at risk and foul play may have been involved, but she later contacted authorities confirming she left the bonfire by choice. Staley has since been in contact with her family, who says she is safe and uninjured. McKenna Rodriguez, KSL News Radio.
A 6-year-old West Valley girl is back with her family after police say she was taken by an acquaintance. Utah Department of Public Safety says she was at a family friend's Friday night when a cousin of that family stopped by and took the girl without permission. She was found and reported safe Saturday afternoon. KSL's top national stories. The Pentagon says Arizona Senator Mark Kelly may face legal or financial penalties for his appearance in a video urging service members to disregard orders that violate the law.
The Arizona Democrat was one of 6 veterans of the military and intelligence community who in a video urged service members to ignore illegal orders. Former astronaut Mark Kelly served as a Navy captain until his 2011 retirement. A Pentagon statement now says the sitting senator may be recalled to active duty for a court-martial or for administrative measures, which could include a reduction in rank or his retirement pay. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the others in the video are not in retired status, so they're no longer subject to military law.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy reporting. Other national stories KSL is following. President Trump is putting the pressure on Venezuela to end alleged drug trafficking. ABC's Mary Bruce explains.
The president is upping the military pressure on Venezuela with a massive show of force in the Caribbean, deploying the largest and most lethal aircraft carrier in the world, the USS Gerald Ford. It's all a display meant to intimidate Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro. The Trump administration says he's a narco-terrorist, and beginning today, the State Department is designating him and his government a foreign terrorist organization.
The FAA is now warning pilots to exercise caution when flying over Venezuela due to the worsening security situation and heightened military activity. First look traffic. What's going on, Ricky?
We actually have a delay-free drive on all the Valley freeways, but Salt Lake City PD wrapping up a crash downtown, 3rd East and 5th South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:35.
This is Christian Staples with Arctic Spas. Way back in 1989, I started servicing hot tubs in Park City, and I learned the hard way in the freezing winter in the mountains that hot tubs are not built for Utah's harsh climate. I then found the Arctic Spa, the most northern manufacturer of hot tubs built specifically for the northern climates. Arctic Spas use perimeter insulation similar to your house where the outside walls are insulated. This allows us to utilize the excess heat from the motors to help heat the water and reduce your electric cost each month. Since then, we have sold 10,000 Arctic Spas here in Utah. We've learned that Arctic Spas last longer because they are built stronger. You can just feel the difference. Arctic Spas are easier to fix because we put access panels all the way around the spa, which makes it less expensive for you. Add this to the lower electric bills each month, and you end up with the least expensive hot tub to own over the long term. Arctic Spas, with stores covering all of Utah in Salt Lake, American Fork, and St. George, or online at arcticspasutah.com. Arctic Spas, the only spa built for Utah's harsh climate.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Thank you for joining us for Midday, recapping our top story this half hour. The logo for the 2034 Winter Olympic Games has been released. We'll have it up on our website in the next hour. You can check it out at kslnewsradio.com. KSL News Time, 12:37. A former West High school teacher has been found guilty on multiple counts of sex crimes against one of his students. Sully County District Attorney's Office says Sterrett Owning Neal started abusing one of his 17-year-old students back in 2017 and continued to do so over the next year. Sentencing is scheduled for January. A Salt Lake City officer has been injured after a woman allegedly ran a red light and hit his patrol car. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
It was early Sunday morning when a woman drove through a stoplight and hit the patrol car that was trying to cross on 800 South through State Street. Salt Lake City Sergeant Greg Wilkins said the officer was taken to a hospital and released that same day.
The vehicle the female was driving after striking our patrol vehicle went into one of the power boxes that control the traffic signals in the area.
We've not heard if any traffic was disrupted. Police say the woman got a citation. They believe she may have been looking at her phone when she went through the light. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Family and friends are mourning the deaths of a 14-year-old girl and a 17-year-old boy following a deadly car crash in Cache County. Crash happened on SR 165 in Providence Saturday night. A family member has since told KSL-TV the 14-year-old is Xylee Hutchinson. Utah State Representative Logan Monson is her mom's cousin.
Xylee would want us to find some kind of peace and some kind of comfort in knowing, in knowing that she left a mark on the short time that she had here.
We are still working to learn the 17-year-old boy's name. We are following up on a deadly crash in Provo where a man has died after attempting to cross a street. Police say the man was crossing in a mobility scooter in 1980 North State Street around 1 in the afternoon when he was hit. They say he was not using a crosswalk or at an intersection. The man is a 72-year-old and was taken to Utah Valley Hospital but died from his injuries. Police say the driver has been cooperating with the investigation. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
Still a little bit of leftover busy and slower traffic on 3rd East where we had the accident just prior to 5th South, so that delay should clear out soon. And some of the other downtown city streets will have some busy traffic at the intersections just because it's the noon hour and everybody's out to grab a bite to eat. But if you're on any of the Valley freeways, you're running at good speeds, and that includes north and southbound I-15 in Weber, Davis, Salt Lake, and Utah counties. Ricky Neese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Little pockets of fog possible around the Great Salt Lake this morning. By afternoon, I've got mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 40s. Overnight, 32. We bounce back to 46. On Tuesday, partly cloudy skies. Mixture of sunshine and clouds on Wednesday, 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's sunny and 48 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And a quick check of the markets at this hour. Looks like the Dow is up by more than 200 points. The NASDAQ, though, it's up 578 points. Coming up on Midday, it's important that you get your car ready before a holiday road trip. We'll talk to an auto expert and the co-host of KSL Drives, Milton Updegraff. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids grow, new memes will come out. But also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need the most, finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get their best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings. So even though your kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most important, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
At Common Spirit Health, we know that lifelong health and well-being starts with primary care. So we have doctors and providers who see you, hear you, know you, and understand you. Because understanding you means understanding your needs. And that leads to a deeper knowledge of the prevention, wellness, and treatment options that may be best for you. It's primary care that treats your whole family like family. It's primary care with human kindness. Discover all the ways you can find and connect with a primary care provider at mountain.commonspirit.org.
You do countless things without a second thought to protect your family and home. Every time you're in the car, you buckle your seatbelt. Before the next load of laundry, you remove the dryer lint. When you head out, you always lock your doors. And one simple task, done far less often, can protect your family and home this winter. Schedule a furnace inspection by a certified heating contractor to check for safety and efficiency. A friendly reminder from Enbridge Gas.
KSL News Time, 1245. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
our cold temperatures can be especially dangerous if you find yourself in water. The Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation wants anyone heading out to fish or recreate for the holiday to use caution. I'm KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson.
Second, UDOT says you can expect to start seeing delays tomorrow. Drivers on southbound I-15 can expect an additional 20 minutes added onto their commute from around 3 to 8. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
The hazmat that situation on northbound. I-215's westbound to go northbound on Legacy crews have now blocked that transition ramp, and we're starting to see backups. You cannot access Legacy from I-215. You'll need to continue on over on I-215's north end to I-15. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
High pressure in control for the next several days. Then a chance for a storm this weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
Partly cloudy, 48 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge dismissed the criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James, citing that Attorney General Pam Bondi's appointment of Lindsay Halligan as acting U.S. Attorney is invalid due to a federal law that says the 120 days to install an interim attorney expired. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky has more.
This is a victory for both Comey and for James, who argued that their cases were defective in part because they did not like the way that President Trump handpicked Lindsay Halligan and installed her after firing a prosecutor that he also appointed but who refused to charge James Comey and Letitia James for lack of evidence, we're told.
The judge dismissed the cases without prejudice, meaning the DOJ can try and indict again. The Justice Department and White House have not responded to the cases being dismissed. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. A lot of people will be hitting the roads this week to see family over the holiday. Before heading out, it's important to make sure that your vehicle is in okay shape to make the trip. An auto expert and co-host of KSL Drives, Milton Updegraff, is joining me now live. Thanks so much for being with me.
Maria, it's so great to talk with you.
Okay, so tell us, what are some routine things that drivers should be doing before they head out?
You know, you want to make sure all your lights are working. It's an easy thing to check. You usually need somebody to help you do that. But make sure all your lights are working. Make sure all your fluids are topped up and working great. Do a casual inspection of your tires. You want to make sure your air pressure is good. The air pressure is the only thing that keeps you off of the ground. And so it's very, very important to have the proper air pressure. One thing to check with your front tires is I like to turn, because sometimes you can't see the inside edge of the tire very well. Turn the tire all the way to the left, or turn the steering wheel all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So you can inspect that inside edge of the tire, make sure you don't have any uneven tire wear. But, you know, get an oil change if you need it. Make sure your fluids are full. Make sure you got good wiper blades. It doesn't look like we're going to have any rain in the forecast, but always good to make sure that if we do, you're going to be able to see. I always like to make sure the car's clean, too. It just always seems to run so much better, you know, when it's clean. And especially if the windows are clean, you just feel like the car is just in tip-top shape if the windows are clean.
Yeah, what types of things should drivers have in their car in case they do have some sort of emergency and they're stuck?
There's so many little cool things available in the 21st century that are great to use. If you have room, a jumper pack is always great to have, and especially these new ones that have air compressors built into them in case you get a low tire. A small first aid kit is always great. You want to make sure your spare tire, if you have a spare tire, has air in it and, you know, the old jack and tools to change it, you know, that sort of thing. You know, this is going to be a great Thanksgiving. It looks like it's going to be records amounts of people traveling by air and by car. And so have a great time.
Yeah, so what are some of the warning signs? I mean, we know that when that check engine light goes off, should we pull over immediately? What do we do?
Well, you know, the check engine light, only about 2% of the time is it something that is, you know, like fatal or going to do damage to the car. Most often, the check engine light, it does fill us with trepidation and fear, but most often it's just something, the vehicle's not running quite as perfectly as it should. So the best advice on the check engine light is, you know, pull in when you have a chance, pull into a shop or parts stores are great. They'll read the code for you for free and let you know if it's something to be worried about or not. A lot of cars don't have temperature gauges anymore. I like cars that do, so you know the temperature of the engine, and if there's a voltmeter on the dash can tell you a lot of things. Watch the temperature gauge, watch for unusual lights, watch, and also keep in mind that a lot of cars nowadays, when the check engine light comes on, there's going to be at least 3 other lights that come on with it, and it makes you think, oh, there's so much wrong with my car. But really, the check engine light comes on, and then those other 3 lights come on just to say, hey, your check engine light's on. We're trying to get your attention. And there's not something wrong with your traction control. There's not something wrong with your ABS. But we're just shutting those systems down while the check engine light is on. So it's usually not that serious.
All right.
Yeah.
Milton,
you kind of have to learn what a flat tire feels like.
Unfortunately, I think I've learned that firsthand. It's not a good thing.
Once you experience it, you never forget, like most things in life.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Maria. Thank you.
That is auto expert and co-host of KSL Drive's Milton Updegraff joining me. Let's get you up to date on the drive now. Traffic and weather is brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Ricky?
Right now we have some backups northbound I-215's West Belt. It began with a hazmat spill and situation approaching the Legacy switch-off, and it had a left lane block. Now the ramp is completely blocked to traffic. So all drivers must continue along on I-215 over towards Redwood and the I-15 junction, and no estimated time as to when they're going to get that wrapped up. Also, a secondary crash in the mix now of this backup, and we do have 2 vehicles over to the right shoulder, and then some vehicles just stuck in traffic, 3 or 4, maybe 5 now, in that left lane, northbound I-215's West Belt. And that will be after, I'm going to say about 2400 north, 2200 north. So we are starting to see delay and some problems in the backup from the issues that we're dealing with this hazmat spill. Find a nativity perfect for your home or to gift to loved ones. Every style, every size, every budget. Celebrate the true meaning of Christmas with nativities at Deseret Book and DeseretBook.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. Mostly cloudy today with a high of 49 degrees. Tomorrow 46, partly cloudy. We keep it partly cloudy on Wednesday, 51. Thanksgiving Day, I got you down for a mixture of sunshine and clouds. 55 the temperature. We'll go to 51, mostly cloudy on Friday. 30% chance for showers. 40% chance for a rain-snow shower on Saturday. 42 for a high. 39 Sunday, scattered snow showers possible. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunshine, 48 downtown. 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
You know what? I think the holidays are the worst time of year for your furnace to go out. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and every November it feels like people get extra stressed when faced with the need to replace their furnace. The money they've been saving is supposed to go to Christmas, and now they're faced with a choice: Christmas or comfort. This holiday season, Any Hour Services wants to help alleviate some of that stress with our special holiday financing. No money down and no payments until next year. Plus, if you schedule a free estimate before the end of November, Any Hour Services will give you $2,500 off any full system you buy. And that doesn't even factor in the rebates and incentives you might qualify for. Again, during the month of November, Any Hour Services will give you $2,500 off any furnace and air conditioner you buy. And you can take advantage of our special holiday financing with no money down and no payments until next year. For more details, call Any Hour Services and schedule a free estimate. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow. maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hard to believe, but Black Friday's here, and you know what that means. It's time for Black Friday money deals at UCCU.
There is an annual tradition now for Black Friday at UCCU where people look forward to, because unlike other Black Friday sales, Black Friday at UCCU is your chance to actually improve your finances.
Like a home equity loan with extra 0.25% off the intro rate, auto and RV loans with no payment for 90 days, low-rate credit cards with 0% interest for 6 months, and $150 cash just for signing up for direct deposit.
It's so easy, and that's just the beginning of Black Friday money deals. Keep going to uccu.com every week for new premium deals that will unlock, and they're things like cutting your auto loan rate in half to earning a higher interest rate on your savings. Enter each week for a chance to win these awesome prizes.
But you got to visit uccu.com every week. But if you come back and enter every time a new deal unlocks, you can win them all. So don't just enter once. Go every week, unlock every deal, and win big this Black Friday at UCCU.
UCCU, you're going to love where you bank.
Mr. Max, suiting for every important chapter of your life. Weddings, proms, new job, any celebration, mission callings, and more. Mr. Max there to suit your needs with 9 locations or MrMac.com.
KSL News. KSL News Time, 12:55, watching Utah's money. The Dow is now up by 192 points. That's about 0.5%, sitting at 46,438. S&P 500 up by 95. The NASDAQ, the big winner, up 2.5%, up 563 points.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com/contests.
Traffic and weather together. It's sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Ricky Meese.
A hazmat spill has blocked the ramp from northbound I-215's West Belt to connect to Legacy Parkway, but the backups we were seeing have cleared despite a small accident in that backup now moved over to the shoulder. And if you are traveling the 21st South Freeway, a crash on the eastbound side at 7200 West, that's also been moved out of traffic, not causing any delay. Every day, people struggle with mental health challenges, addiction, or homelessness. Volunteers of America, Utah, provides counseling, recovery programs, and safe housing. Your donation shows someone they matter. Visit voaut.org to give today. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Even with higher inflation and tariffs, retail growth continues along the Wasatch Front, and now more and more retail is growing away from the Wasatch Front.
People in the city, and not just in Tooele City, but really people throughout Tooele County have been, going to spots elsewhere, and the city has not capitalized on all those retail purchases.
The time is 1 o'clock on Monday, November 24th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. With the holiday shopping season in full swing, we're taking a look at the ever-evolving trends of retail growth here in Utah. Also this hour.
In a statewide impact, it's really about $34 million a month circulating in the Utah economy because of college sports. That's a big number.
It's always good to support your favorite college sports team. Go Utes. But it turns out that those same teams are doing their part to support our local economies. But first, our top stories. KSL's top local story this hour. Police say a woman may have been looking at her phone when she drove through a red light and hit a patrol car early Sunday morning. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
Police say the woman was driving on State Street when she went through a red light at 800 South and hit a patrol car right after 1 a.m. Salt Lake City police say the officer was taken to the hospital and released that afternoon. Police say they believe she was distracted and may have been looking at her phone.
Utah Highway Patrol investigated and the woman was given a citation. Our top national story from ABC News. A federal judge has thrown out the criminal cases against New York Attorney General Letitia James and former FBI Director James Comey because the prosecutor wasn't appointed lawfully. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
The president had put an immense amount of pressure on the Attorney General to bring about these prosecutions. He had posted in a social media post that was addressed to Pam, referring to Pam Bondi, that she needed to do this. He said at the time, "We cannot delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility."
Federal law says when a top federal prosecutor's post is vacant for 120 days or longer, the district court appoints the replacement. Acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan was nominated by President Trump in September and went on to indict both Comey and James. Again, both those cases are being dismissed. Taking a look at your money at this moment. The Dow is up by 215 points. That's about 0.5%, sitting at 46,463. S&P is up by 98. The Nasdaq up by 575 points. Traffic and weather sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
The small accident we had eastbound on the 21st South Freeway at 7200 West has already been moved off the roadway and in the final clearing stages. But we still have the small crash northbound I-215's West Belt, about 2100 north on the shoulder, and again a hazmat situation that has blocked the ramp from northbound I-215's West Belt to go to Legacy. Step aboard history, walk through recreations, see real artifacts, and feel the legacy of Titanic. The exhibition open now at the Shops at Southtown in Sandy. Tickets at titanicexhibition.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And the forecast calls for the weather to be dry for the first half of the week, dry all the way through Thanksgiving, but the day after Thanksgiving, things changing. 30% chance of showers on Friday, 40% chance for Saturday and Sunday. 50 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Most folks wait till January to say, I should probably fix this or do something about how you feel. But you know what? You're going to go into 2026 with the resolution already done because soda helps you lose the weight now, so your New Year's all celebration.
You and I both started our soda weight loss journey in October and November, right? And I loved going into holiday parties knowing I had a plan. It wasn't just, I'm going to try not to. It was, this is my plan, because I've spoken with a nutritionist and I get a jump start on that, first of the year goal by beginning soda weight loss right now.
Yeah, there's no guesswork. You're supported every step of the way, and you need that. And right now, there's an amazing offer from Soda for you and your partner. You join, and your partner joins for free.
So why gain 20 pounds just to lose it in the new year? Go to Soda Weight Loss today and begin today.
That's sodaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com, because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The Wasatch Front continues to grow both in Salt Lake County and in cheaper neighboring counties. Many even choosing to leave the Wasatch Front in search of cheaper housing. Tooele County has seen a huge spike in population in recent years, people looking for cheaper, quieter living without going too far away from the big city. For a long time, those people have still had to trek back into the valley for a lot of their shopping needs. But that's all changing as Tooele experiences a surge in new businesses coming to the community. I am joined now live in studio by KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson. And Heather, what's the background to all of this new retail growth?
So, as you said, we've seen Utah's population is shifting. People are moving to Tooele and other cities further out from Salt Lake so their money stretches farther. I spoke with John Perez, Tooele's economic development director, who says Tooele gets mischaracterized as somewhere that's not affluent, but in actuality, their incomes are 5 to 10% higher on average than the state average. So now you have all these people with more disposable income who have to drive to spend their money with their favorite brands.
For far too long, Tooele City has really suffered when it comes to retail leakage. And what that term means is that people in the city, and not just in Tooele City, but really people throughout Tooele County have been, going to spots elsewhere, West Valley City, Salt Lake City, and in some cases Utah County, and really the city has not capitalized on all those retail purchases. And now we finally are. People are really hungry for those retail offerings, and not only retail offerings, but restaurant offerings as well. And now that we have it here, we're really shining.
About 2 months ago, they opened the Founders Point Retail Center, which features stores like Ross Dress for Less, Hobby Lobby, TJ Maxx, and restaurants like Chili's and Wingstop. Perez says they've had almost 1 million visits in just the first 2 months, and they've even set some national records.
Anything that comes is not just, doing well, by Utah standards, it's doing well nationwide standards as well. So I think it's really quite remarkable to see that, it's really been underserved retail and restaurant wise. And, that time has finally changed.
Their Chili's had the company's busiest opening in the nation, and the Ross had the 5th busiest opening. So there's a lot of excitement to have some of these big brands close to home.
Okay, so what now? Are they still expecting to see this massive growth continue?
Perez makes it sound like this is just the beginning. He says the success at the Founders Point Retail Center has been eye-opening for a lot of brands who may be now seeing what a goldmine Tooele County can be.
There's a major appetite for businesses to get into the area. Just, in the last week, people have been calling from, whether it be quick service restaurants to large-scale retailers. When I say large-scale retailers, I mean very large. There is, a major appetite, and, we're seeing that too with, even larger-scale businesses. Just in the next couple of months, we'll have a large-scale South African mining safety equipment manufacturer that's going to be opening. It's going to bring between 150 and 200 new jobs. Other industrial companies opening in the past few months as well. And, we're not talking just 10, 20 jobs. We're talking about hundreds of jobs. So, all those people that commute, now they're able to work here, they're able to recreate here, and they're able to spend their money here. And people are starting to really see that.
Perez says they've already had plans to open a Smith's Marketplace next month with a Beans and Brews, Einstein Bagels, Jersey Mike's nearby. He's hoping these successes will continue to attract more of the brands people have been clamoring for, maybe even places like Chick-fil-A, Costco, or dare I say it, a Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. All right. Thanks, Heather. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson joining me in the studio to talk about the retail growth off the Wasatch Front. A new report is highlighting the impact of college sports in Utah. They found the sports programs at 6 public universities are bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars, as well as impacts that you can't measure with numbers. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has the story.
The new report from the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute found sports at the University of Utah, Utah State, Weber State, Utah Valley, Southern Utah, and Utah Tech universities contribute more than $400 million a year to the state economy and account for more than 3,000 jobs.
Which is slightly less than the direct employment of a company like Zions Bank, or equivalent to some of our big employers like SkyWest, Vivint, or Autoleave. So that's the kind of economic punch we're talking about.
Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute Director Natalie Gochner tells me that breaks down to roughly $34 million a month. But she says the impact is really felt on a local level.
In certain communities, like what Utah Tech means to the St. George area, what Southern Utah University means to the Cedar City area, certainly USU to the Logan economy, those become quite significant.
Gochner says they also found the success of our college sports teams are enticing kids from out of state to apply to and attend our public universities. And she also says sports are enticing locals to stick around.
When you have a great place to live that has a vibrant sports community, in this case college sports, it helps attract and keep people here in our state.
But Gochner says the numbers don't tell the whole story.
Truly, one of the biggest findings of the report is that it's more than the economy, that college sports is really about the benefits it brings to a community. And these are amenity benefits, social capital benefits, sense of pride and unity of a community, and then our national standing and reputation as a state. I think the easiest way to just sense what it means to our state is to put yourself in the stories of people that experience college sports. And our president, President Randall, noted in the Deseret News story what it's like to see 12 and 13-year-olds at a women's gymnastic meet and how that inspires them and guides them. I come from the University of Utah perspective, but when we have the moment of loudness between the third and fourth quarter where we honor fallen athletes and anyone who's passed, but anyone who's experienced that moment of loudness where, more than 50,000 people simultaneously yell family all together, it gives you a sense of how much connection, fellowship, and enjoyment comes from the unity and attractiveness of sport. And I hope we captured that in our study.
And Gochner says if they included BYU in their research,
those numbers would be quite a bit larger.
Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Measles in Utah. It continues to grow. The most recent case is being reported in Wasatch County. The infected are all students at Wasatch High School.
Right now, up in Wasatch County, we have a couple cases of measles that are all related to our Wasatch High School students. A couple of those exposures that have been taking place happened at our school. We had students that were attending school as well while they were infectious with measles. And we also had some students that were out of school play at the high school.
Lana North with the Wasatch County Health Department says they're asking people to get the MMR vaccine and to stay home if they suspect they are ill, especially with the holiday season upon us.
If we were to just have a couple of things, we'd just say, right, if you're sick and you're noticing that you have some of those symptoms of measles, call your health provider, get in contact with them before just like going out in public. Try to stay home if you're sick. That being said, right, we also would recommend that MMR vaccine, getting those 2 doses, just because, right, in general, that is a very highly effective vaccine that can help protect your family from hopefully getting sick.
North says of the 5 recent cases, 2 of the infected were vaccinated. The other 3 were unvaccinated against the measles. In a statement, the Wasatch County Health Department Director Jonelle Fitzgerald says they first saw signs of measles in the community on November 6th through wastewater testing. And with cases existing in other parts of the state, Fitzgerald says they weren't surprised to see cases pop up there too. As a reminder, measles is a highly contagious viral illness. Health officials say it spreads easily and can remain in the air for up to 2 hours. Measles symptoms typically appear within 1 to 3 weeks after exposure, and they can include high fever, cough, runny nose, red watery eyes, a rash that starts on the face and spreads downward. If you think you've been exposed to the measles, you should contact your primary care provider. For more information on measles spread in Utah and more information on vaccines too, you can visit epi.utah.gov. Peace talks continue today between the U.S. and Ukraine, hoping to find an end to the war with Russia. More on that in just a few minutes. But first, it's KSL Traffic, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Ricky?
Crews are making headway on the cleanup of this hazmat situation with a spill. It's at the junction of northbound I-215's West Belt to connect to Legacy Parkway. However, the ramp is still closed to traffic. Save now with UCCU Black Friday money deals. $150 cash for signing up for direct deposit and much more. Visit uccu.com/Black Friday. UCCU, love where you bank. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
When it comes to your electrical system, do you know the warning signs to look for? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and it's okay if you don't know, but here are a few things that you might not even realize could be a sign of a bigger problem. Wall plates that are hot to the touch, discoloration around switches or outlets, if you hear crackling or popping or buzzing around switches or outlets, a breaker that trips a lot, switches that feel loose when you operate them, if your lights dim or flicker when a major appliance comes on, if your plugs fall out of the wall easily. You know, you're not supposed to have to bend the prongs out on a plug just to get it to stay in the wall. If you notice any of these things, you should consider having a licensed electrician check your system out. If you don't know anyone, Any Hour Services has put together a radio-only special for any homeowners listening. One of our licensed electricians will perform a comprehensive electrical inspection and give you a full written report for only $29. But you have to mention this ad when you call. To schedule your comprehensive electrical inspection by a licensed electrician for only $29, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7300. That's 801-443-7300. Any Hour Services.
Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from 10 to 1 as the movie show stops by. Then browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes in new inventory every day. Then they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. So you're invited to visit the movie show Friday 10 to 1. And that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Hey folks, it's Jay Broadbent here with Alpine Home Medical, celebrating 28 years of keeping Utah and Idaho comfortable and at home. Back in '97, I started with a truck, a dream, and a lot more hair. Today, we've got 11 stores from Idaho Falls to St. George. From the moment you step into our clean, welcoming showrooms, you'll feel the Alpine difference. Our team will be there to listen and guide you to the best solutions for your needs. We believe that the right equipment can transform lives. We're honored to be a part of your healthcare journey and to help you live the life you deserve. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com. That's alpinehomemedical.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Talks continue today in Geneva, Switzerland, between Ukraine and the United States over a possible peace proposal. The talks coming even as Russian missile strikes continue. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell has more on the peace talks and the reaction to the initial proposals from Ukraine.
I mean, they came away from the discussions with Rubio saying this was basically a Russian wish list, which, to be honest, anyone who looked at any of those details would assume. And we know that Kirill Dmitriev, who's a prominent Russian businessman with very close ties to the Kremlin, has certainly been involved in consultations. I mean, if Vladimir Putin had been asked to draw up his Christmas wish list, this would have been everything on it, almost no concessions whatsoever. And that clearly horrified and shocked not just Ukrainians, but also Europeans and many on Capitol Hill.
It feels like this was a plan that they took almost entirely from the Russians, did no consultation with Congress, no consultation with the Europeans.
Now, the State Department pushed back and said absolutely not. This wasn't a Russian plan. And then the president started to row back saying, well, you know, this isn't the final thing. There is some wiggle room there.
There's still some work to be done, but we are much further ahead today at this time than we were when we began this morning.
We've now had the start of these talks in Geneva yesterday, in Switzerland, where the mood music certainly from Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and from the lead negotiator for the Ukrainians, Andrei Yermak, was very positive.
We have very good progress, and we are moving forward to the just and lasting peace.
Here is the problem. Firstly, we've been here before, in very, very similar territory. And the gulf between what Russia demands and what Ukraine is willing to accept, that gulf, for now at least, does not appear to have narrowed whatsoever. Russia has not shifted its demands since day one of this war. Ukraine is willing to make concessions, but if it makes the kinds of concessions that were in this original document, it will buckle, and President Zelensky's made it clear that he wouldn't agree to that.
Is there any kind of timeline or any sense of time for when we could see movement, if any at all?
Well, again, you know, if you look at the statements that were made kind of later into Sunday, it sounds like there is movement. But, of course, there's only one party to the conflicts there, the Ukrainian side.
Whether it's Thursday, whether it's Friday, whether it's Wednesday, whether it's Monday of the following week, we want it to be soon because people are going to, between today and the time we deal with this, more people are going to die.
It seems to me almost impossible that this can be done by Thanksgiving. I think, to give President Trump his dues, you know, he is a negotiator, and applying pressure, the carrot and the stick, is a tried and tested mechanism, although some people would say, well, it hasn't really been much of a stick to Russia, but the recent sanctions are starting to have a big impact in Russia. So, yes, we're now starting to see a little wiggle room. Maybe it won't be Thursday. I think if people feel it's heading in the right direction, then that will probably be enough. But clearly the Americans won't want to sit there into Thanksgiving. They'll probably want to be home for that. But I think if they can draw something up, then the Ukrainians take it back to Zelensky, who's then got to get anything through Parliament. And then the difficult job begins of trying to persuade Russia. But meanwhile... Late yesterday, you had 15 attack drones striking Kharkiv in the east of the country. You had Ukraine firing on Russian energy facilities. The war has not eased in any way. Russians pushing on the front line. Winter has absolutely arrived. The power cuts are devastating now. You've got a lot of people in sub-zero temperatures now having to endure cold nights without any source of heat or light.
The talks come as the Ukrainian war with Russia continues. Just this weekend, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke to the country.
I mean, Zelensky's address to the nation was a deeply emotional, powerful point.
This is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Currently, the pressure on Ukraine is one of the hardest.
Ukrainian friends and colleagues said it was very, very emotional. People were really moved by him, saying, essentially, if we're being given a choice between sacrificing our sovereignty and dignity versus keeping a key ally on board, we know what they're going to have to choose. It was really a call to arms for Ukrainians to stand united and for the Europeans to come to the rescue yet again. As I said right at the start here, this is pretty much a replay of everything that unfolded after Trump met Putin in Alaska and the Europeans made a beeline to the White House. Remember, so many European leaders and almost an unprecedented meeting. They managed to change President Trump's mind and then talk went nowhere. Nothing really happened. So I think we have to be very, very cautious. The reality on the ground is nothing has actually changed despite all the talks, but the next few days are going to be critical. One thing that's true is this looks like the most serious talks since this war began on February 24th, 2022.
ABC Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell talking about the peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. A judge has dismissed the indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. The judge said the appointment of Lindsay Halligan as U.S. Attorney was invalid. Halligan was put in the post by President Trump to specifically bring charges against Comey and James, two of his more politically outspoken opponents. With more on the decision, here's ABC's Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky.
The judge in the Eastern District of Virginia has dismissed the indictments both against former FBI Director James Comey and New York State Attorney General Letitia James because the appointment of Lindsay Halligan, he ruled, was defective, and therefore signing the indictments was a violation, an unlawful exercise of executive power. Therefore, the judge said those two indictments are hereby set aside. This is a victory for both Comey and for James, who argued that their cases were defective in part because they did not like the way that President Trump handpicked Lindsay Halligan and installed her after firing a prosecutor that he also appointed but who refused to charge James Comey and Letitia James for lack of evidence, we're told. So now the indictments against both of President Trump's political enemies have been dismissed, although the judge dismissed them without prejudice, and that means that federal prosecutors can, if they so choose, try again to secure the indictments, perhaps once a permanent U.S. attorney is picked for the Eastern District of Virginia.
More from ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas.
The sequence of events with President Trump tweeting, posting on social media about the case, the notion that the previous Trump-appointed U.S. attorney had basically decided not to move forward with prosecutions, these indictments, and now the question that the process itself was unlawful. And so now there is a huge question at DOJ in terms of whether these cases should proceed or not.
Just after the judge's decision came down, Letitia James issued a statement with her response. Here's Aaron Katursky again.
She is heartened by what she calls today's victory and grateful for the prayers and support I have received from around the country. The Attorney General here in New York goes on to say, I remain fearless in the face of these baseless charges as I continue fighting for New Yorkers every single day.
Comey had been indicted on charges of giving false information to Congress, while James was being charged with mortgage fraud. The Pentagon is launching an investigation into Senator Mark Kelly after he participated in a video with other Democratic lawmakers telling active duty service members that they don't need to follow unlawful orders. The video has drawn the ire of President Trump, who took to social media to call the lawmakers traitors.
It is a very difficult thing to actually prove what he said because of that video where they were reminding service members of their responsibility that they are not to follow unlawful orders. Now, what the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, is laying out and what the Pentagon is laying out in a statement is that Mark Kelly could be brought back to active duty pending a review, and that under active duty he can potentially face a court-martial or he could face administrative action.
ABC's Louis Martinez reporting. It's 1:30 midday at KSL News Radio. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. Health Matters on Midday. We're talking about ways to boost your immune system during the holidays. Are you cooking up a feast this week? We'll hear from a dietitian with the best ways to address food allergies and intolerances. And KSL traffic, Ricky.
A ramp closed from I-215's West Belt to Legacy. Maria?
It's going to be a dry Thanksgiving. KSL's top local stories in 1 minute. It's 1:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge dismissed criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James.
The rulings are from a judge based in South Carolina who was asked by two Virginia-based colleagues to weigh whether acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan was lawfully appointed. Judge Cameron Curry finds Halligan was not. The judge points to the law's requirement that when a top federal prosecutor's post remains vacant for 120 days, the district court appoints the replacement. And since Halligan indicted both James Comey and Letitia James, Judge Curry has ordered both cases dismissed.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. An Israeli prosecutor announced charges against an extremist settler accused of beating an elderly Palestinian woman in the West Bank. That attack caught on video earlier this month. A federal appeals court has paused the Trump administration's push for rapid deportations, affirming a lower court's ruling that rapid deportations would likely violate the due process rights of migrants. The appeal hearing set for December. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story this hour. A new report says sports at our public universities are injecting hundreds of millions of dollars into the state economy, and the impact goes beyond the dollars and cents. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has details.
The report from the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute found sports at the University of Utah, Utah State, Weber State, Utah Valley, Southern Utah, and Utah Tech universities contribute roughly $34 million a month to the state economy and provide close to the same number of jobs as companies like Zions Bank, Vivint, or SkyWest. But Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute Director Natalie Gochner tells me the numbers don't encompass the full impact.
Is really about the benefits it brings to a community, and these are amenity benefits, social capital benefits, sense of pride and unity of a community, and then our national standing and reputation as a state.
And Gochner says they also found the success of our college sports teams are enticing out-of-state kids to come to Utah. And she says if they included BYU in this,
those numbers would be quite a bit larger.
Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Other local stories KSL is following. If you're fishing over the Thanksgiving holiday, the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation Boating Program Manager Ty Hunter says our cold temperatures can be especially dangerous if you find yourself in the water.
Your muscles become so cold, you lose the dexterity in your fingers, and then you start to lose the strength out of your larger muscles, and then lastly, hypothermia.
Aside from hypothermia, Hunter says we have a natural reaction to gasp when we enter cold water, which can cause drowning. He says your best bet is to always wear a life jacket and not to head out on the water alone. Taking a look at your money at this moment, markets have been in good shape today. The Dow up 238 points, that's 0.5%, sitting at 46,484. S&P up by more than 100 points, that's 1.5%. The Nasdaq up nearly 600 points, more than 2.5%. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. What's happening, Ricky?
It's a delay-free drive on all the Valley freeways. That's the good news. And even though we don't have any crashes, per se, we still have the cleanup of this hazmat spill on I-215's West Belt at Legacy. As a result, with crews still at the scene, they have the ramp blocked off, so you cannot access northbound Legacy Parkway from the West Belt. You'll need to find an alternate route. No matter the weather, your feet feet can feel fantastic. Find the Good Feet location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Temperatures near 50 through Friday, but then on Friday, we do have the good chance of showers, 30% chance, 40% for Saturday and Sunday. 52 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
A matchup.
Ready?
Nobody.
Set.
Expected.
Go.
When it comes to athletes, there's fast.
How fast are you going at top speed?
And then there's Olympic medalist fast.
Where did he go?
But what does that speed look like compared to the average journalist?
You nervous? What if I beat you, man? Oh, man.
KSL's Alex Cabrera laces up and goes head-to-head in a skate-off with Utah's very own Casey Dawson.
You see how close I came?
Tonight at 10.
You've made your list and have checked it twice. You deserve rewards for being so nice. With a Visa Rewards card from Golden West, earn more with each purchase without any stress. Get 4 times rewards on groceries. It's true, whether hosting a feast or just cooking for you. And for everything else you need to get done, earn 3 times rewards. Now that's more fun. Apply today at gwcu.org or any branch.
We'll take care of you.
You're listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The holiday season is also cold and flu season. Ahead of the parties and celebrations, there are a few things that you can do to stay healthy. Today on Health Matters, Dr. Richard Ferguson gives us some ideas of how to boost our immune systems during what's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year.
I look at it in kind of like 4 parts. One is to build a shield before you need to boost. And part of that is I kind of went over in a prior visit, and that is vaccines plus clean hands. I'll put it really simple. Vaccines, clean hands. So we have to understand that hand washing, something as simple as that, can prevent pretty much like 1 in 5 respiratory infections. A lot of people think it's always, oh, I'm in a room and someone's coughing on me. No, it's you touching an item, not washing your hand, or touching someone else, and then how many times do we touch our face in a day? I think there was some kind of study done where they put like a glow-in-the-dark or UV paint on someone, and then they could see how many times they touched their face in like a matter of an hour. So I think that's one thing, the winter shield, vaccine plus hands. And then also sleep. A lot of us don't protect our sleep. Sleep is like medicine. So I tend to say adults, 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. If you don't get consistent sleep, you're more likely to catch a cold. And especially if you're exposed to a virus. That's how you can get some, households where, let's say you have a well-rested spouse and then one that's overworked and stressed, and one comes home, one is sick. You both were at the same event where everyone else got exposed, but the one that's well-rested and exercises decently doesn't seem to acquire the virus that you were both exposed to. So a simple way I look at this as, if you're burning the candle at both ends, you're also burning down your immune system. And then another way I like to think about it, and I alluded to this during Heart Health for the holidays, moderate exercise. I'm talking a 20, 30-minute walk most days compared to being sedentary. We don't need an all-out boot camp, right? We don't need to do something like that. But your immune system likes movement, not punishment. So don't overdo it. Vaccines plus hand washing is our shield. Sleeping actually is a great booster for one's immune system. And I would say, lastly, eat real food. All right. As we're going to lead into for our second discussion, fruits, vegetables, beans, lean proteins, healthy fats, they give your immune cells their vitamins that are minerals that are necessary for those immune cells to continue to replicate and build. It makes them more robust. So fruits, vegetables, beans, lean meat, tends and stay hydrated. Try to not. This is a time when a lot of people are going to have probably less water, more sugary drinks, because that's what Auntie puts out on the table or Grandma, and they're going to push away from water. Let's make sure we keep water in real food.
Yeah, such great advice. I think the problem is we don't think about any of those things as we start moving into the holidays and we're busy and we don't make the time to get the proper exercise, or we stop thinking about hand washing because we've got 500 other million things on our minds. So I can see why we start getting sick, or we're sick more often during the holidays.
Yeah, chronic stress weakens the immune response. So I think this should just become a part of a daily practice, along with, say, deep breathing or prayer or those short walks. Another thing, not to anything against KSL, but unplugging from the news for a little bit can also be a good way to address stress hormones that we also want to make sure we keep at lower levels so that our immune system isn't overworked. And that's where we go back to sleep. That's where we go back to being able to make sure we have a healthier diet, which is harder to control. But I would just have to think about, do you want to enjoy the holidays, or do you want to be closed behind a room with tissues, sipping NyQuil, and away from spending time with your family? That's what you need to kind of understand. Do you want to be healthy for Christmas, or not take precautions around Christmas time, and then you're sick on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, let's focus on stress for just a minute because we kind of just touched on that a bit, and unplugging a little bit. What does happen to us when we get overstressed and we just have too much stuff going on?
Well, one thing is our white blood cell count can go up in our body. So initially, stress can be our body responds to it by our cortisol levels go up, which one has to understand is sort of like it's a hormone that's in our body that helps with our circadian or cyclical rhythm of when to be alert and when to be sleepy during the evening. But also, cortisol will tend to also impact insulin that's released. So when we have significant amounts of stress in our life due to either poor sleep, poor emotional management, or we're having, our emotions are impacted because of financial stressors, or we're trying to put food on the table for our family, that leads to our white cell count going up. Then eventually it will drop when it's up or stressed for too long. And then our immune system, our cells start to get tired of often being elevated as a result of our hormones in our body stimulating them more. So it gets to the point where they're a little bit overstimulated, and then we start to be more susceptible for viruses and bacteria to have growth on our body and to replicate.
And that's why you say take that time for yourself, whether that be through prayer or just unplugging, or maybe both of those things and more things as well.
Yeah, you want to keep your cortisol levels at consistently at around the same level. You don't want peaks. You don't want insulin being released unnecessarily due to, say, a poor diet where you're having like a consistently high number of sugary beverages and fatty foods. But also, yes, trying to remove oneself, identifying the stressor, I think, is sometimes what people have the most difficulty with, because it could just be it's something as simple as like, well, I'm stressed all the time because of my home life. I have 4 kids. I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I'm a working mom, or I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I'm managing a company that I'm doing out of my garage and have to get orders done, and stuff is being coming through Etsy. The thing is, you have to either make space for yourself, or this will eventually catch up to you.
All right.
And often that can be something, if you're young, it's something as simple as a cold, thus, or maybe the flu, but at least you had time to get a vaccine to try to minimize how harmful it could be to you. But if you're older and you allow this stress to impact you, and you have comorbidities such as hypertension, obesity, and diabetes, that could lead to chest pain and an possible heart attack. So both ends of the spectrum need to make time and space to unplug, rest, meditate, even if it's 20, 30 minutes. That's why sometimes I encourage people, take a nap. I know it's Christmas Eve. Take a nap. People will still eat. They will be okay.
Okay, anything you wanted to add on that subject?
I would just say if you are someone that's the provider in the family, a lot of weight comes onto your shoulders, or parent weight comes onto your shoulders during the upcoming holidays. And it's your family sometimes can only be as strong as their leader, sometimes as the provider. And you want to make sure that you continue to be a support for your family, be it and a support for your partner. So taking these steps, staying hydrated, eating healthier, making time for just a little rest during the day, or just walking with your family can really help to help your immune system stay stronger. And once again, please wash those hands. I went on a run or bike with my fitness group on Sunday, and all of us, had to go to the restroom right afterwards. And then we all wanted to give each other handshakes or hugs. And it's like, we're not doing that. We're just gonna say wave hi and go home and wash our hands. They're like, yes, doc. Yes, doc.
Dr. Richard Ferguson is an emergency room doctor and the founder and president of the Black Physicians of Utah. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
Hi, this is Cindy Olson, and get ready for these amazing offers during Black Friday week at Dave's Bernina in Provo and St. George. 48 months, no interest on certain Bernina machines. All machines are on sale, including the new Bernina 3 Series, priced too low to mention. Even the most advanced sewing machine in the world, the Bernina 990, is on sale. That comes with free gifts. Incredible doorbuster deals on accessories that you will have to come into the store to find out. Dave's Bernina just received a limited amount of school buybacks in excellent condition and is offering the Bernina 335 model for $699, a retail price of $1599 if new. And a small number of school machine models with a doorbuster price of $499. Both come with 2-year warranties. Many machine purchases come with free gift bundles too. Black Friday week at Dave's Bernina, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo. Dave's Bernina. Dave'sBernina.com.
Food allergies can make holiday dinners a bit more complicated, but are important for hosts to consider if someone's coming to dinner that has a serious allergy or intolerance. Dr. Carrie Durward, Associate Professor of Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences, Utah State University, joined me with tips for hosts as we head into Thanksgiving.
It's really important because people's health and their lives might depend on it. Food is sometimes a difficult thing for a family around the holidays because food is not just nourishment and health related, it's also related to our emotions a lot. But the difficult thing is that when it comes to a food allergy or a food intolerance, it's not just that person's preference, and they can't just be like, well, I'm going to eat it to be polite, because they might end up in the hospital or having to call in sick for a couple days. And I'm sure any host would not want that to happen.
No, hopefully people are very upfront about their food allergies, especially if there are serious allergies. So given that maybe as the host what the food allergy is, how do we make sure, though, that we don't have any cross-contamination? So how do we avoid creating any problems for that person with an allergy?
It's really important to always talk to the person with the allergy to determine exactly how, with the allergy or intolerance, to determine exactly how sensitive they are. And so, for example, I'm going to use gluten as an example, but this might be true for many other foods. Some people who need to avoid gluten for medical reasons are okay if they get really tiny small amounts of gluten, like so small that we wouldn't typically even be able to measure it. And other people might get really, really sick, like to the point where they might need to be hospitalized or call in sick to work, like that level. And so it's good to know what you're dealing with before you get started. Good practice is always to wash and disinfect dishes between two different types. So, for example, if I'm trying to make two different dishes, one for the people who want gluten and one for the people who don't. If a tiny amount of gluten is not going to set them off, then I will just make sure that I clean my mixing bowl and other equipment really carefully before I cook the gluten-free one. Now, there are people out there where everything that we could do at home to clean out our mixing bowl is not going to remove all of the gluten that might make them sick. Some people, when they get diagnosed with these things, they have to buy all new pots and pans. And so with that severe of a disease or a sensitivity, really the important thing to do is to be open to those types of individuals bringing their own food or choosing not to eat some of the dishes at your house and making it clear to them that you're not going to be offended and that you're just glad to have them there.
It sounds like communication is key for those who have the allergy and then for the host as well.
Yep, you put it exactly correct.
So what happens if someone does have some sort of allergic reaction? What can we do? What should we do?
So we always want to be prepared to make sure that our guests have a good time. And so if you know that somebody is coming to your house who has an anaphylactic food allergy reaction, I always want to make sure that they're bringing an EpiPen with them. And then when I come, I will reassure them, here's the foods that should be safe for you. You know, I've done these things to prevent cross-contamination, but just in case, tell me where your EpiPen is so that I know how to find it and get it for you. Typically, people with food allergies should be able to self-administer their EpiPens, but if for some reason they can't, it is a relatively easy procedure. The people who've designed the EpiPens have tried to make them completely foolproof. So if you want to be on top of things, you can, watch some YouTube videos about how to properly administer an EpiPen, and you should be ready to go. Other types of sensitivities or intolerances are not necessarily going to cause an immediate life-threatening reaction that there's something that you can do about. So the most important thing that we can do is prevention. Typically, after an EpiPen is administered, some sort of medical care will need to happen. Just make sure you're checking with your loved ones about what kind of care they want. You don't want to be calling an ambulance that their insurance can't pay for and isn't really necessary. So again, communication and knowing what the proper steps are for that person.
All right. Anything else you think we need to think about?
I would just say, in addition to open communication, trying to separate out the emotions that we have around food, which are often they're not conscious thoughts. They're subconscious. They're things that we learned when we were little. And so trying to separate those out from the health necessities that these members of our friends and our family have, and not being offended if people choose not to eat some of the things that we make for them or ask if they can bring their own dishes, and just realizing that it's not about us. It's not about our ability to cook delicious food. It's about wanting to be together with these people and make sure that everybody is healthy and happy.
Dr. Carrie Durward is an associate professor of nutrition and dietetics and food sciences at Utah State University. 'Tis the season for giving back. More on some local giving trees after the break. But first, it's KSL Traffic, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Ricky?
The hazmat situation has been cleared, and that's at the ramp from northbound I-215's westbelt to connect to Legacy. That ramp is now open to traffic. UTA is road therapy. Give your car a break and get more U-time. Plan your trip at rideuta.com or on the Transit app. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
My friend Joey means well.
Always remember that the early bird gathers no moss.
But he gets a little confused.
You can't make a silk purse out of a wooden nickel.
Like Joey, many of us can be confused when it comes time to plan for retirement. When to take Social Security, how to use that 401k, what about the stock market, taxes, and Medicare? Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management can help to simplify retirement planning. His goal is to have you walk into retirement with confidence, not worry, and to address the number one concern among retirees today, the fear of running out of money. Call Galileo Wealth today for a no-cost, no-obligation meeting to talk about the details of your retirement. 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000. or online, GalileoWealth.com. And remember,
one man's trash is thicker than water. Of course, water's not thick at all, it's watery.
Respiratory virus season is quickly approaching, meaning we'll see more flu, COVID, and RSV in our community. The good news is vaccines are available that will help prevent these infections and keep people healthy. For flu and COVID, everyone aged 6 months and older are recommended to be vaccinated to help protect ourselves and our families against serious illness. Fall remains the best time to be vaccinated. Respiratory viruses circulate year-round, but peak late fall through winter. Your doctor can recommend which vaccines are best for you and your family.
Brought to you by Intermountain Health and KSL News Radio.
Join the Movie Show's special pre-holiday broadcast at Fat Cats in Saratoga Springs, 212 Pioneer Crossing, and find out about all the fun holiday movies.
Calling all jazz fans. If you can't wait another second to see stars like Ace Bailey and Lowry Markkanen tear up the court, you're in luck. Tickets are on sale now. Let's go! No matter what you're looking for, the Utah Jazz has your back. With season tickets, mini plans, and single game options available, there's something for everyone. Whatever your schedule or budget, there's a plan for every fan. Don't miss a moment of the action this season. Secure your tickets today at UtahJazz.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
At Common Spirit Health, we know that lifelong health and well-being starts with primary care. So we have doctors and providers who see you, hear you, know you, and understand you. Because understanding you means understanding your needs. And that leads to a deeper knowledge of the prevention, wellness, and treatment options that may be best for you. It's primary care that treats your whole family like family. It's primary care with human kindness. Discover all the ways you can find and connect with a primary care provider at mountain.commonspirit.org.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. A Christmas tree in Salt Lake City is doing more than spreading holiday cheer. It's helping make sure isolated seniors are seen, remembered, and supported this season. Inside the Salt Lake County Government Center, a tree covered in tags tells the stories of older adults across the county, each one with a simple holiday wish. After January with Aging and Adult Services tells KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera, the request may be small, but the impact is big.
So when you walk into the government center down in the South Building atrium, you'll see our giving tree, and it's just so fun and heartwarming to take a look at the tags that have the gifts listed that our older clients have requested. You know, our clients are older adults who most often don't have any family who live close by, who are isolated and often are homebound and can't get out of the house. So when you see these gifts on the giving tree, it really feels great to think that you could get something small that would really mean a lot to some of our older adults during the holidays. And frankly, the types of gift requests that you see, I really find to be interesting and humbling, and something that I'd really like to participate in. So, for example, I was looking at our tree the other day, and we've got a request for shaving supplies from a 79-year-old man. Or a woman in her early 80s who was asking for yarn and supplies for knitting. You'll also see a lot of requests for just basic needs items, things like cleaning supplies or canned food, non-perishables. A lot of our adults actually just ask for a gift card to a grocery store, which maybe isn't the most exciting thing to purchase, but definitely is something that just really means a lot to the people who end up receiving them.
She says says there are a lot of ways for people to participate.
One of the most fun ways is just to come down to the county government center, which is, of course, located on 21st South and State Street in Salt Lake City, where you can go into that south building atrium and choose a tag off the tree. But we do want to make it easy for people because we know not everyone wants to, travel to and from, especially as it's getting dark at night. So you can call us at 385-468-3200 and ask our team about how you can participate in the Giving Tree, and we will get you a name and what those gift requests are. Or you can even shoot an email to us, find us online, saltlakecounty.gov/aging, and reach out electronically, and we will connect you with, one of these gift requests so that we can make the holidays, bright for some of these isolated older adults that we serve.
After picking a tag, you shop for the item listed and bring it back to the county so staff and volunteers can deliver it straight to a senior's home. You can find the Giving Tree and get involved at 21st South and State.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
A bipartisan push to help protect children and families online. The Algorithm Accountability Act introduced in the U.S. Congress by 2 Utah lawmakers.
The proposal would hold social media companies accountable for things that their algorithm serves users. The concern is that the algorithms amplify dangerous materials to children.
The time is 2 o'clock on Monday, November 24th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, Representative Mike Kennedy will join me live in the studio to discuss the ins and outs of the bill, plus the motivations behind it. Also this hour...
There it is. Congratulations.
3,000 days to go until the Olympic cauldron lights up for the second time here in Utah. Who's counting, right? We'll get an update on preparations and the new logo for the games that was just released today. But first, our top stories. People in Tooele are getting the chance to stay local for Black Friday this year as their shopping and dining scene explodes in popularity. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson has the story.
As more people migrate further away from Salt Lake City, Tooele has seen massive population growth in the past couple years, and the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute expects it's going to keep growing by another 1.5% over the next 4 decades. Tooele's Economic Development Director John Perez says those people are tired of having to make the drive to Salt Lake and Utah counties for all their shopping needs. That's why there's been a lot of excitement about the Founders Point Retail Center that opened 2 months ago.
People are really hungry for those retail offerings, and not only retail offerings, but restaurant offerings as well. And now that we have it here, we're really shining.
Perez says their Chili's had the company's busiest opening in the nation, and the Ross had the 5th busiest opening. And next month, the city will welcome a Smith's Marketplace and several other eateries. He thinks these successes are going to continue to attract more jobs and more of people's most desired brands to the city. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story from ABC News. A federal judge has thrown out the criminal cases against New York Attorney General Letitia James and former FBI Director James Comey.
The decisions come from a South Carolina-based federal judge who was asked by 2 colleagues in Virginia to weigh Lindsay Halligan's appointment. The former White House aide was tapped in September to replace an ousted Trump nominee who reportedly declined to charge James Comey with lying to Congress. Halligan not only brought that case, she also sought an indictment against Letitia James for alleged mortgage fraud. South Carolina-based Judge Cameron Curry points to the law, which says when a top federal prosecutor's post is vacant for 120 days, the district court names the replacement.
That is ABC's Stephen Portnoy there. Taking a look at your money at this moment. At the close, the Dow up 202 points, about 0.5%, sitting at 46,448. S&P up by 100 points. The NASDAQ up by nearly 600 points, more than 2.5%. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards, and here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a disabled vehicle in the downtown area. It's on the exit ramp from southbound to I-15 at 4th South. It's been affecting the left lane of travel. If you're traveling the main flow of any of the Salt Lake County freeways or all major roads in northern Utah. We're seeing a pretty good drive at this time with no big delays on the freeways. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Highs for the next few days close to 50 degrees and no chance of rain all the way through Thursday, through Thanksgiving Day. Friday, though, things change. 30% chance of showers, 40% chance on Saturday. 52 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mr. Max, suiting for every important chapter of your life. Weddings, proms, new job, any celebration, mission callings, and more. Mr. Max there to suit your needs with 9 locations or MrMac.com.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. A bipartisan push in both the House and Senate aimed at protecting families online. The Algorithm Accountability Act is meant to hold social media companies accountable for the things that they push out through their algorithms. Senator John Curtis introduced his version in the Senate just last week, and Congressman Mike Kennedy introduced a version in the House. Now, Representative Kennedy is joining me in the studio with more on this bill. So, Congressman, first of all, tell us about the need for this. Why the bill?
Maria, thanks for having me on. It's great to be in studio with you. It's you're a real person. I can tell
right,
you're
we
not
usually
an
talk
artificial
on the phone.
intelligence. You're
Thank
you're a real
goodness.
person. It's great to be with you. And the reality is there's a terrible mental health crisis amongst our young people. And as a family doctor myself for the past 25 years, I've been doing this, and I've never seen more anxiety and depression in these young people in my entire career of 25 years than I have in the past 6 years of doing my work. So I'm eager, along with Senator Curtis, to promote this Algorithm Accountability Act, which is going to bring big tech and these social media companies in line with the needs to protect our young people, which they may say that they're going to do. Well, this is going to put some teeth behind the reasons why they should do what we all believe that they should do.
So describe how this will work.
This is updating Section 230 in the Internet Communications Decency Act, which was actually passed many years ago in 1996, which doesn't sound like that many years for me, but for a lot of people out there it might be. And this is updating it to bring civil liability to social media companies that when they're going to have algorithms that particularly are going to affect people that they may not only harm but even kill themselves associated with these algorithms that could feed them data that somebody that's unstable might find scintillating or interesting, and it's going to lead them down a path that may lead to self-harm, that these big tech companies will be accountable for that, which is, I think, something that's common sense. But sadly, we know that until a class action lawsuit was brought against Meta, that they they were hiding the fact that they knew these algorithms were creating depression and anxiety, and especially our young people, and they weren't willing to come public with that until a class action lawsuit made them come public with that.
So how do you enforce something like this?
We could drop the hammer of the federal government and the full weight and might of the federal government on these companies. I believe it's better for us to do two things. One is civil liability. So if we can prove that there is harm associated with these algorithms, then any individual can file a lawsuit. So it's a process that does not involve federal regulations and more bureaucrats that are pushing around business. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that this act allows states to innovate in this space, which as a 10-year state legislator, I believe Utah legislators have a great handle on this. There's a lot of outstanding legislators that have ideas, and we need to use the laboratories of democracy to allow these states to innovate in this space to find other possible avenues. So these two opportunities for civil liability as well as states to step into the fray themselves is an opportunity for us to develop the best policy to protect our children.
Okay, talk to me about this bipartisan effort. We're glad to see that you can agree on things. Tell us about that and how that's going to work.
I'm eager to do that. Actually, it's been great to work with Senator Curtis on a bicameral basis. The House of Lords, the Senate is willing to condescend to come to the House, and Senator Curtis has been a great partner. I'm really grateful to follow in his footsteps and learn from him. And so he and I are working together, but April McLean Delaney, who's a Virginia Democrat, and I are co-sponsoring this legislation. And she has expressed an eagerness, just like I feel, to work in this space. And I'll just tell you, Maria, as far as that goes, is there are many good people in Washington, D.C. that are working in a bicameral and also a bipartisan fashion to try to find common sense solutions. Because when it comes to people harming or killing themselves, these are things that are not partisan. When it comes to high-quality health care or stopping wildfires or fentanyl overdose deaths, these are things that I'm looking for. And in this case, I've been able to find not just a partner in that circumstance, but many others. And April McLean Delaney is my co-sponsor of this bill, and we're going to work in a bipartisan fashion to move this forward.
Great. So glad you could come in today and tell us more about it.
Thanks for having me.
And highlight a bipartisan, wonderful effort.
That happens.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And that is Representative Mike Kennedy joining me here in studio. Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds.
Utah Mammoth Hockey is back at Delta Center. Don't miss your chance to be part of the excitement as the Mammoth hit the ice all season long. Grab your friends, rally the family, and lock in your seats for the fast-paced, hard-hitting action. Great seats are available for most games, but they're selling fast. Head to UtahMammoth.com to get your tickets today. That's UtahMammoth.com. Your home for all things Mammoth hockey.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Roughly 70% of Americans say they are against military action in Venezuela. That's according to new polling from CBS News and YouGov. The polling comes after recent tensions in the region. Now President Trump is stepping up the pressure against the South American country over alleged drug trafficking. The Trump administration now formally designated Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro as a member of a foreign terrorist organization. For analysis on these developments, here's News Nation speaking with national security contributor Tracy Walder.
We see the new reporting from Reuters, a source is telling them that the U.S. is poised now to launch a new phase of Venezuela-related operations in the coming days. What does that mean? What does a new phase likely look like?
So I think a new phase has a lot to do with what you mentioned earlier, is the designation of that group as a terrorist group. If that is the case, then they are looking back at an AUMF, an authorization for military force from 2001 in relation to obviously September 11th. And that essentially means that Trump would not have to necessarily get the approval from Congress immediately to go into Venezuela. So what I do think they are potentially gearing up for at this point is some kind of a ground invasion.
Wow. I mean, if this Venezuelan gang is designated a terror organization, does that mean that Nicolas Maduro is a terrorist? And what would that designation, how does that change things?
So, yes, I think Rubio and Trump have actually both said that they believe that he is the head of this cartel. And so, essentially, what that is doing is saying the entirety of the government, right, is a member of this terror organization. I want to be clear, we actually didn't even do that with Saddam Hussein in Iraq. We stated that Saddam Hussein was supporting terror networks, but we didn't call his government a terror network. So, that is very different here than what we have seen in the past. I also think, too, there are rumblings about, Maduro talking about and the government talking about their connections to Hezbollah and Iran as well. And Iran has come in and recently told the U.S. to basically back off. So you've got a couple people at play here.
Help us understand sort of a lay of the land and some context around this, because I think a lot of Americans are scratching their head and saying, why now? Why are we doing this? Why is Trump doing this? Why Nicolas Maduro in particular? There are a lot of countries involved in the drug trade. There are a lot of countries who are bad actors out there. Why this country? Why now?
So I think it's bigger than just the drug trade. Obviously, the drug trade is not a minor problem. It is a major problem here in the U.S. and worldwide as well. But I do think there's other nations at play and geopolitics at play. So I mentioned Iran earlier. Maduro is very close with Iran. They are allies. They are both members of OPEC together, and Russia as well. So right now, Trump is really not getting along, quite frankly, with Putin. Putin's not doing what Trump wants. And I do think some of this putting pressure on Maduro and basically felling Maduro, if you will, is sending a message, quite frankly, to Russia and to Iran, hey, you could be next. And I think that's why this is happening now.
That is Tracy Walder, national security contributor for News Nation. We are officially 3,000 days away from the 2034 Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games, and that milestone was marked today inside Salt Lake City International Airport. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera was there earlier. He joins me now. Eric, what stood out to you most?
Maria, the location alone, I think, made it powerful. This was held right between baggage claim and the greeting area, one of the busiest, most public spaces in the airport, and it was completely packed. There were leaders, travelers, Olympic organizers, just everyone kind of stopped and took it in together. You really felt the symbolism of it because that exact spot is going to be the front door to the Olympics in 2034. In just 3,000 days, that's where athletes and spectators from all over the world will arrive.
Okay, we could hear the excitement. And there were some big announcements tied to the ceremony.
That's right. Governor Spencer Cox spoke and said that 2034 will be here before we know it. But the biggest visual moment was the dedication of a brand new piece of artwork and a monument that will stay on display inside the airport for the next 3,000 days and beyond. It's a modern gray monument with a cutout-looking font style. One side represents the Paralympic Games, the other the Olympic Games. Organizers are they also officially introduced the name of the games as Utah 2034, which made this feel like another major step from an idea to reality that's inching closer every day.
Okay, you also talked with an athlete who's hoping to be part of those games.
I did. I caught up with Park City skeleton athlete Zoni Jackson, who sat next to me, and her reaction really captured the emotion of today.
I feel good. I feel special to be a part of this and special that I joined this amazing team to work with and be a part of this.
10 years ago, what would you imagine you would be here right now and saying that you'd be part of this?
10 years ago from here, I would not imagine I would be here, experience this. It feels unreal, like unimaginable.
And Maria, that sense of gratitude and disbelief really mirrored what a lot of people were feeling. Just pride, hopefulness, and aware that this is a once-in-a-generation moment for Utah.
Okay, so what happens next now that 3,000-day mark has passed?
So from what was said on stage, the behind-the-scenes work really kicks into another gear. Transportation planning, venue prep, volunteer recruitment, sustainability initiatives, all of that ramps up in a much more visible way now. And for anyone passing through the airport, that new artwork and monument will be there as a daily reminder that the countdown is officially on and that Utah is getting ready to welcome the world again. You could see it for yourself and let us know what you think of that new logo at KSLNewsRadio.com.
Can't wait to see the artwork when I travel over the holidays. Thanks, Eric.
You got it, Maria.
That is KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera. It's not only the week of Thanksgiving, but it's also the official start of the holiday shopping season. If you haven't already started, we'll hear about the best Black Friday deals next. But first, it's KSL Traffic, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Ricky?
Maria, it looks like UHP and UDOT are holding back traffic southbound I-15 approaching 33rd South. The trouble in traffic seems to be a vehicle ahead of the backups over to the left. Not sure if we have debris on the road or if it's a disabled vehicle, but right now we are seeing delays set in pretty heavily between on southbound I-15 between 2100 and 3300 South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Doug Ryden. For years, I've been telling you about products I truly believe in and that we use in our home. And one is Kinetico. We all know the downsides of hard water, tough on home appliances, frustrating spots on shower doors, but it also affects your personality. When you shower, does the water feel invigorating? Hard water can leave your skin feeling sticky and itchy. A Kinetico soft water system changes everything. It's like having a luxurious spa experience when you shower, making your daily routine something you look forward to. Kinetico, it's a difference you can feel. Their patented system uses far less salt than competitors, and they're exclusively focused on water softeners. They're the experts in their field, and they'll show you the difference for free with no obligation to buy. Call Kinetico Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized independent dealer, at 801-576-8600, or check them out online at softwaterutah.com. Start enjoying your water. Spoil yourself every day.
Attention Jazz Nation, the long wait is finally over. Mountain basketball is back and better than ever. Let's go! All tickets are on sale now, and you won't want to miss the action. Jump on the opportunity to watch your favorite players live and in person. Whether you're after season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, the Utah Jazz has got your back. There's a plan for every fan. Don't miss out. Secure your seats today and be part of the excitement all season long. Let's go! Visit UtahJazz.com today.
$1.5 trillion is parked on the sidelines. Projects that would help create good-paying American jobs are stuck in years of burdensome reviews. Permitting reform would unlock over 650 major U.S. infrastructure projects, from new roads and bridges to bringing more energy online. With faster, more efficient permitting, we can unleash America's economic potential. Let's move from waiting to building. Ready, set, let's build. Paid for by Business Roundtable.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
You were listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Has Black Friday gone under? The memories of physical fights over Tickle Me Elmos, tents on the sidewalk outside the big box stores, and people being trampled by doors, those all seem to be fading away. But Chip Lupo with Wallet Hub says Black Friday is still alive and well, just in different forms.
If nothing else, it's become somewhat of a social event where folks, so it's been somewhat of a tradition where folks would leave the Thanksgiving dinners and either camp out in front of their favorite store waiting for the doors to open, But no, Black Friday is still alive and well, and you can still get some pretty good deals out there.
Lupo tells Inside Sources that the biggest deals this year are going to come from traditional brick and mortar department stores.
Well, what we found is that, oddly enough, is like your traditional, or what we used to call department stores, are going to get you your biggest deals. And those are stores like JCPenney's or Belk's that you can get discounts well over 72 to 75%. And those are primarily on jewelry and apparel, and in a lot of cases, appliances.
That brings me to the next question is then what are the best products for consumers to buy on Black Friday versus other times of the year?
Well, this is a good time for, again, for jewelry and apparel. Appliances is one that tends to get overlooked. That's usually not on top of anyone's wish list for the holidays, but you can go to places like Home Depot or Best Buy and get some really good deals on whether it's a washer, dryer, a refrigerator, a freezer set. You can get some really good deals on those. Expect a run on electronics this year, whether it's laptops, phones, tablets. Because of the uncertainty of the tariffs that's still floating out there on electronics, people are going to be making a rush on those because, again, the tariffs are floating out there, and the cost of those are going to be significantly high whenever these tariffs are enacted, if they actually are.
That is Chip Lupo with Wallet Hub. Speaking of things you could get deals on this holiday shopping season, Google's annual list of top 100 trending gifts is out, including everything from toys, electronics, and wellness products. And as you might expect, artificial intelligence is getting into the shopping game, hoping to help people save time and money. Google tech expert Molly McHugh Johnson tells me the trending list also includes some surprising items.
A few really interesting ones. We saw movie projector spike more than 900% this year, so that's been very popular. And then backpack charms hit an all-time high in the US for kids, which I think like maybe has something to do with Labubus. But we also saw kids scooters. And then another one was packing cubes for traveling. So I thought that was kind of interesting because maybe it means people are about to go on a lot of trips.
So movie projectors, that one surprises me. What's going on there, do you think?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I think of them more as like something you would buy to watch movies outside in the summer, perhaps. But I think it's kind of a fun idea. So that one was a big one. But also next to it, home projectors also spiked. So definitely there's something going on there because those two both saw a big jump.
Okay. How does this differ from your past trends or holiday trends?
They're different every year. It just really depends on kind of like the things that people are getting excited about over the course of a year. And if you go to our site for the shopping guide, which it's g.co/holiday100, you can see visuals of all of these products, but also see kind of how the search trends are shaping them. So it's just a really interesting way to sort of dive into like the psyche behind our shopping over the course of a year.
Yeah. So talk about the psyche for just a minute. We've been talking about the economy and job cuts and all these things. Is that kind of showing up in what people are searching for?
I'm actually not sure if it's something that we're seeing in search. I would assume it's probably something that's on top of people's minds. To that end, something that is kind of maybe a good thing to think about this year over the holidays is sort of some of our features that help you find things at the price that you want them to be. So we have a new feature called Buy For Me, and basically you can set the parameters around something that you're searching for online, and it will only buy it once it hits the price that you want.
Oh.
So let's say you're searching for like a dog bed, but you only want this specific dog bed if it is under $35, and right now it's $50. So you can sign up to track the price of it, which will let you know when it hits a lower price. But then you could set an alert basically that, hey, if it hits $35, you can buy this for me as long as it's in this color and this size. So it's just a really nice way that if there's something that you want and you just know exactly how much you're willing to pay for it, you can kind of like go away from that and you'll get it at the exact price that you wanted.
Yeah, we know folks are pretty busy, so what a great tool.
Yeah. Another one that like if you prefer to shop in person, which is also kind of fun over the holidays or can be, we have a new feature called it's where we'll call for you and see if something is actually in stock. So if you search for that dog bed near me, you would see a list of places where it's available at stores in your area, and there's an option that says let Google call. and basically we'll ask a couple of questions, like to get an idea of what you're looking for, and then call those businesses and say, is it in stock? Is it on sale? Do you have it in this color? And then we'll send you an email or text summary of that call, and you get to decide then if you're willing to go out and buy it.
Yeah, it's wonderful how technology is helping to save us time and money in that particular case, right?
Absolutely. That's the idea.
So where do people find these tools?
So these will all be on Google Search and Google Shopping, both places where you can search for things that you're looking for. You can also you can type very conversationally now. So if you kind of want some ideas on brainstorming, you can definitely type something like dog bed in cozy fall colors, and you're going to get a lot of options. But everything can be found on Google Search and Google Shopping.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Just that it's been another really great way you can use Google over the holidays is to use Google Maps. That's a great one that'll show you, how busy a location is. So, if you're trying to go to the grocery store and it's, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, you might see like a busyness indicator. And so you can decide if it's up, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, so when you're running errands and doing all sorts of things over the holidays, I would say try and check out Google Maps as well.
All right. Any other fun tools you need to tell us about?
These I think are some of the best ones. Yeah, give Google Shopping a go, and maybe even try Gemini. That's another great one. You can chat in the Gemini app and brainstorm some gift ideas, and then once you kind of land on some of the exact ideas that you like, it can even surface products for you that you can then jump back out to Google Search and Google Shopping and finish your shopping journey there.
That is Google tech expert Molly McHugh Johnson. It's 2:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. The weather is looking nice ahead of Thanksgiving, but things might get a little dicey on the ride back from Grandma's house. We're taking a look at the forecast and travel tips for those of you heading out for the holiday this week. And KSL traffic, Ricky.
Right now we have solid delays southbound I-15, South Salt Lake and Murray. Maria?
And speaking of that forecast, on Friday, we do have a 30% chance of showers. Saturday and Sunday, even a greater chance at 40% chance of showers. For the first part of this week, our high staying near 50 degrees, but then dropping into the 40s for the weekend and down to 39 degrees on Sunday. It's 2:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge dismissed two separate indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James on the basis that acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan's appointment was not lawful. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
The president had put an immense amount of pressure on the Attorney General to bring about these prosecutions. He had posted in a social media post that was addressed to Pam, referring to Pam Bondi, that she needed to do this. He said at the time, "We cannot delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility."
The judge dismissed the cases without prejudice, meaning the DOJ can try again to pursue indictments. The president says he's accepted an invite from President Xi to visit Beijing in April and says China's president will also come to the U.S. for an official state visit later in the year. Talks on a peace plan progressing in Geneva to end the war in Ukraine. The U.S. and Ukraine narrowing down a point plan to 19 points. Michelle.
KSL's top local story this hour. A new report is highlighting the impact that college sports at Utah's public universities. One major finding is our college sports are contributing as many jobs as some of Utah's biggest companies. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
A new report from the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute found sports at the University of Utah, Utah State, Weber State, Utah Valley, Southern Utah, and Utah Tech universities contribute more than $400 million a year to the state economy and account for more than 3,000 jobs.
Which is slightly less than the direct employment of a company like Zions Bank, or equivalent to some of our big employers like SkyWest, Vivint, or Autoliv. So that's the kind of economic punch we're talking about.
Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute Director Natalie Gochner tells me they also found when the sports teams do well, so do the universities themselves.
When your sports programs do well, you have more people in applying to enroll at your school.
And Gochner says if they included BYU in their report, the numbers would be way bigger. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Other stories KSL is following: a Utah woman who vanished from a California beach 3 weeks ago has been found safe. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez has more.
Danielle Staley of Holiday was first reported missing on November 6 after disappearing from a bonfire at Rio Del Mar State Beach in Santa Cruz. The Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office says they initially thought Staley was at risk and foul play may have been involved, but she later contacted authorities confirming she left the bonfire by choice. Staley has since been in contact with her family, who says she is safe and uninjured. McKenna Rodriguez, KSL News Radio.
A 6-year-old West Valley girl is back with her family after police say she was taken by an acquaintance. Utah Department of Public Safety says she was at a family friend's Friday night when a cousin of that family stopped by and took the girl without permission. She was found and reported safe Saturday afternoon. Taking a look at your money at this moment at the close, the Dow ended up 203 points, sitting at 46,448. S&P 500 up by 102 points. The big winner, though, the NASDAQ, up by nearly 600 points, up nearly 3%. Traffic and weather, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Ricky?
We do have traffic starting to move again, but that was after it came to a complete stop southbound I-15 with delays going from 2100 to 4500 south in Murray. Again, it is starting to move. Not really sure what was causing the issue, but we're just waiting now for these backups to clear out. The rest of your Salt Lake County freeway is seeing a quiet drive. Traffic's rough, but your parking lot doesn't have to be. GoPave Utah keeps things smooth with expert asphalt maintenance at gopavutah.com. That's gopavutah.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Dry all the way through Thanksgiving, but rain and snow showers coming our way by the weekend. 52 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, a new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. It's the final stretch. Thanksgiving is just a few days away.
What's your Thanksgiving song?
No. Pass the cranberry sauce. We're having mashed potatoes. Ooh, the turkey looks great.
Len.
Thank you for loving me.
Len.
Thank you for being there. Everyone's thanking.
Len.
The whole world's thanking you.
Stop.
Thanking
Len.
us for thanking
Stop.
you.
Len.
Kill the turkey.
Please.
I liked it. Thank you.
While you might be focused on the turkey, the mashed potatoes, or the cranberry sauce, you might also want to keep an eye on the weather. Ahead of Turkey Day, things are looking okay, but the question marks lie in the post-holiday travel this next weekend. Here's KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson.
It is Thanksgiving week. Lots of people paying attention to the forecast because there's lots of traveling going on, not only within state borders, but around the Intermountain West into Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and even Arizona. Looking at the forecast models, we've got high pressure dialed in. Today, tomorrow, all the way through Thanksgiving Day, really a good consensus amongst models that we're going to see dry weather. We might see some patchy areas of morning fog, especially around bodies of water, but daytime highs in the 40s and 50s. Pretty easy travel through Thanksgiving. Now, we are watching the potential for high pressure to kick off the West Coast and allow for a Canadian and Alaskan low pressure systems to move in for the weekend. So right now, the way it stands, along the Wasatch Front, I've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday under a 30 to 40% chance for some kind of precipitation in the form of rain or maybe even some snow showers by Sunday. Now, there's still a lot of specifics to iron out for this weekend, but I wanted to let you know travel should be easy going for the first half of the week all the way through Thanksgiving Day. Across the Wasatch Front, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I've left about a 30 to 40% chance for some rain snow showers. The reason for that is not every model's on board with what's going to happen this weekend. So that's something you're going to want to stick with us on as we get closer to Thanksgiving Day and this weekend. We'll continue to gather more data. We'll likely see a merging of model consensus on what's actually going to pan out this weekend. So stick with us on that.
The Federal Aviation Administration expects this Thanksgiving holiday travel period to be the busiest in 15 years. News Nation's Marcus Espinosa has more.
There's a lot going on this week if you're flying because it's going to be very, very busy. It's record-setting potentially as well. So from today until December 2nd, more than 300,000 flights are going to take part. And then on Tuesday, more than 50,000 flights on that day alone. Tuesday makes sense, right? You want to get in there before Wednesday. But if you are flying on Tuesday, you got to be aware of a couple things, including weather coming from the Midwest over to the East Coast, as well as rain and wind and also snow could be affecting delays, not to mention the fact that staffing shortages are still an issue. Thankfully, that government shutdown is over, but definitely still effects left from that government shutdown as things try to get back to normal right now. But really just record-setting numbers for folks really eager to get out there and travel and visit friends and family. But if you're going to do that, make sure to pack your patience because, again, Tuesday in particular, if you have a flight, it is going to be packed at the airport you go to.
News Nation's Marcus Espinosa there. For those of you looking to drive somewhere, you've got a good chance for clear roads ahead of the turkey dinner. Your drive back this next weekend could be a different story, though, especially if the forecasted storm blows in with a punch. So if you're planning to take the road over the river and through the woods, you should make sure that your car is prepared now. I spoke with auto expert and the host of KSL Drives, Milton Updegraff, to learn more about preparing your automobile for the drive to Thanksgiving dinner.
You want to make sure all your lights are working. It's an easy thing to check. You usually need somebody to help you do that. But make sure all your lights are working. Make sure all your fluids are topped up and working great. Do a casual inspection of your tires. You want to make sure your air pressure is good. The air pressure is the only thing that keeps you off of the ground. And so it's very, very important to have the proper air pressure. One thing to check with your front tires is I like to turn, because sometimes you can't see the inside edge of the tire very well. Turn the tire all the way to the left, or turn the steering wheel all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So you can inspect that inside edge of the tire, make sure you don't have any uneven tire wear. But, get an oil change if you need it. Make sure your fluids are full. Make sure you got good wiper blades. It doesn't look like we're going to have any rain in the forecast, but always good to make sure that if we do, you're going to be able to see. I always like to make sure the car's clean, too. It just always seems to run so much better, when it's clean. And especially if the windows are clean, you just feel like the car is just in tip-top shape if the windows are clean.
Yeah, what types of things should drivers have in their car in case they do have some sort of emergency and they're stuck?
There's so many little cool things available in the 21st century that are great to use. If you have room, a jumper pack is always great to have, and especially these new ones that have air compressors built into them in case you get a low tire. A small first aid kit is always great. You want to make sure your spare tire, if you have a spare tire, has air in it and, the old jack and tools to change it, that sort of thing. This is going to be a great Thanksgiving. It looks like it's going to be records amounts of people traveling by air and by car. And so have a great time.
Yeah, so what are some of the warning signs? I mean, we know that when that check engine light goes off, should we pull over immediately? What do we do?
Well, the check engine light, only about 2% of the time is it something that is, like fatal or going to do damage to the car. Most often, the check engine light, it does fill us with trepidation and fear, but most often it's just something, the vehicle's not running quite as perfectly as it should. So the best advice on the check engine light is, pull in when you have a chance, pull into a shop or parts stores are great. They'll read the code for you for free and let you know if it's something to be worried about or not. A lot of cars don't have temperature gauges anymore. I like cars that do, so you know the temperature of the engine, and if there's a voltmeter on the dash can tell you a lot of things. Watch the temperature gauge, watch for unusual lights, watch, and also keep in mind that a lot of cars nowadays, when the check engine light comes on, there's going to be at least 3 other lights that come on with it, and it makes you think, oh, there's so much wrong with my car. But really, the check engine light comes on, and then those other 3 lights come on just to say, hey, your check engine light's on. We're trying to get your attention. And there's not something wrong with your traction control. There's not something wrong with your ABS. But we're just shutting those systems down while the check engine light is on. So it's usually not that serious.
All right.
Yeah.
Milton,
you kind of have to learn what a flat tire feels like.
Unfortunately, I think I've learned that firsthand. It's not a good thing.
Once you experience it, you never forget, like most things in life.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Maria. Thank you.
That is Milton Updegraff. He's an auto expert and the host of KSL Drives. You can hear him Saturday mornings at 7. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Here in Utah, we are known for our die-hard outdoor enthusiasts, but Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation Boating Program Manager Ty Hunter says that even the most committed recreationists need to keep safety in mind this winter. Despite the dropping temperatures, Hunter says people will still flock to Utah's lakes and reservoirs, and it makes a very real risk for cold water shock.
That leads to cold water shock, and then you start to lose the ability to do simple tasks just because your muscles become so cold. They start you lose the dexterity in your fingers, all that fine muscle movement. You start to lose all of that, and then you start to lose the strength, your overall strength out of your larger muscles over a period of time, and then lastly, hypothermia can be setting in, and over a duration of time can cause unconsciousness, and then it can be fatal.
Hunter told KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson cold water shock can be a serious risk to the safety of boaters, and how can all be avoided by taking the proper precautions.
Your body's not functioning correctly at that point in time. Your breathing's out of whack. It's not normal. And when your breathing is not normal, it is awfully hard to get a rhythm put together with your body. If you run, hike, whatever you do, you start to notice that your body starts to come in tune with your breathing, and the movement of your body's in tune with your breathing. People that swim, they are able to time their breathing in their strokes, and so many breaths per, a breath per so many strokes that's there. In treading water, that's messed up. When you're breathing, you're in this hyperventilation phase, and so you have this aspiration of water. You have which complicates the whole situation. You're hyperventilating. You get a little bit of water in there. Now you're kind of coughing. You're just not getting a good exchange of the oxygen in that period of time. Plus, you're trying to tread water, and that's where we say that's where the life jacket buys you that time. That life jacket will keep you afloat. You don't have to struggle about trying to keep yourself afloat and treading water. The life jacket's doing it for you, and you can focus on getting through that period of the cold water shock and not get your breathing under control. Your breathing can start to get more into a regular basis, and then you got to look at self-rescue at that point in time. I need to get out of this water.
Remember, always wear your life jacket. Make smart decisions when you're on the water, no matter what time of year. Thanksgiving might be this week, but there's already a feeling of Christmas in the air. We'll check out the annual giving machines that were just unwrapped today, coming up after the break. But first is KSL Traffic, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Ricky?
Well, for those who have been sitting in delay on I-15 southbound, the delays are starting to ease between 2100 and 4500 south. But now we have traffic getting busy and a little slow for the drive home going from Murray to Midvale at the South Interchange. A small accident eastbound on the 21st South Freeway just after 7200 west out of traffic on the shoulder. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent from Alpine Home Medical, and I'm humbled to win Utah's Best of State for 2025 for the 15th year in a row. After 28 years, we're all about you. Over 1,700 five-star Google reviews and a 4.8 customer satisfaction score to prove it. We'll keep working hard for you. I've spent this year advocating with lawmakers for better Medicare reimbursement, ensuring you always have the best access to medical supplies you need. From Idaho Falls to St. George, our 11 stores are your home for comfort. When you hear Alpine Home Medical, think of that best of state experience every single time. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com. That's alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Join KSL in the movie show this Friday from 10 to 1 at the Salt Lake NPS store, 1600 Empire Road in Salt Lake City, npsstore.com.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Ugh, that hard water life, right, Utah? Scale buildup ruining your appliances, skin feeling rough, water tasting, well, less than amazing? There's a better way. Hi, this is the water boy Colson Firmage, and this is Culligan Water, your local water expert, making your water worries a thing of the past. We're talking top-rated water softeners and filters that protect your home, leave your skin feeling silky smooth, and make your water taste fantastic. For over 80 years, Culligan has been right here in Salt Lake City, a family tradition of cleaner water you can trust. Think of us as your friendly neighborhood water scientists. Is your current system even pulling its weight? Don't guess. Call us today for a free water test, no matter what make or model. Just dial 801-509-9602 or visit CulliganSLC.com. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off a new Culligan water filtration system, plus free salt delivery for a whole year. Experience the Culligan difference. Call 801-509-9602 or visit CulliganSLC.com. Culligan, water you'll love.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Now in its 8th year, the giving machines have been unwrapped, signaling another moment of the holiday season. The red vending machines to help charities unveiled today with a kickoff event at the City Creek Center. Is violinist Jenny Oakes Baker and pianist Abby Anderson. The giving machines were first introduced in 2017, born out of a heartfelt question: can serving others be instant, fun, and memorable? Elder Bruce Boucher is an Area 70 with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
We're very excited about the giving machines this year. The individual organizations that can be given to, we're thrilled with.
The giving machines not only helping folks around the country and the world, but locally as well. Some of the Utah-based organizations being helped by this year's giving machines are the Columbus Adult Education Center, Friends of the Children, Murray Education Foundation, Stella Oaks Foundation, Show Up Utah, and the Other Side Village.
We have 6 local organizations. All of them are doing great work here in the city and in our state, and we're thrilled to be partnering with them.
Utah First Lady Abby Cox speaking at the kickoff this morning about the importance of helping local charities and local communities.
An amazing opportunity for us to light the world, but today we are lighting Utah. We're so thrilled to be here in Utah, to be able to light the world from Utah, and it all starts here. We are so proud of the incredible local organizations that are in the giving machines this year. I am so excited for my organization, Show Up Utah, to have an item here celebrating and supporting foster families around the state. I have been so inspired by Sharon Eubank's new book that you can pick up at Deseret Book right here. that talks about the importance of local charities and looking locally. So we love our global charities, our global organizations, but I am thrilled to represent the local organizations that will be affected by your generosity. And I just want to put a plug. I know you're gonna come to these machines, you're gonna give with your giving hearts. I also want you to think about and research each one of these local organizations as well, to look and see how you can not only give your funds, your resources, your money, but also how you can get involved and help volunteer. In Utah, we are the #1 state for volunteering, and we are #1 for charitable giving, which is amazing. We love that. So you have opportunities not only to give in the giving machines, but to give of your time and your talent to really support the organizations that are in there. I know Special Olympics is in there, and that's part of my heart as well. Where's our Special Olympians? We love our Special Olympics, and I've been involved with them, and they're part of my initiative as well. So you can support Special Olympics, you can support foster families, you can support many other local organizations and global organizations, but I want you to think local and go beyond just giving. Give of your time, your talents, and volunteer. Thank you so much for Lighting Utah.
The Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints covers all the operational expenses, including credit card fees. The 2025 giving machines in downtown Salt Lake City are just a few of the charity vending machines, which can be found in 126 cities in 21 countries across 6 continents. Now, this year, there are more than 4,000 items available for donors to choose from. Globally, the vending machines help Care USA and the Special Olympics. Now, you can find a full list of the vending machines around the world by going to churchofjesuschrist.org.
Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore.
Thank you for joining us today for Midday, Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News.